welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. You should be able to hear us and see us at this point. I'm Jeff, and we are playing a game called Orbital tonight. So a little one-shot that we're going to do tonight because our Friday night Delta Green game is postponed for the week. And so I'm very excited that we actually get to try this game out. I backed this on Kickstarter I think it was the end of 2020. It was up on Kickstarter, and we haven't played it yet. And so I'm really excited. It's a narrative game about running a space station. So if you're like a Deep Space Nine or a Babylon 5 fan or something like that, it has a little bit in common. I will drop a link right now in the whole Twitch chat. See if it works. It doesn't work. There it goes. So this is by MOUSEHOLE Press. So I've dropped two links into the chat. So those of you who are in the chat, you can kind of go to either place, either mousehole.press or mouseholepress.itch.io if you want to get yourself a copy, and along with some of their other stuff. So yeah, it's fairly rules light. It's more about improv and acting than it is about building, min-maxing character stats and stuff like that. There's actually no dice, which is going to be weird.
No dice.
So before we get going, let me just plug a few things that we're doing here soon. Starting tomorrow, we're all very excited about this. You can catch the four of us as we're beginning a new show on Saturdays at 6 Central Time. We are beginning our Worlds Without Number game, which is going to be a ongoing kind of sandboxy hex crawl in a sci fantasy world. Looking forward to that. On Monday, you can catch Melissa and I back on this channel playing our Alien RPG, continuing our campaign there. And then next week, next Friday, we'll all be back to our Delta Green ways, blowing up probably an apartment complex or something. So it'll be great. So, are you guys ready to start? I think three of us have read the rules. I'll let you all decide who the one who didn't read the rules is as time goes on. But yeah, let's get started. So basically, I don't have any dice window or anything like that to show you. You can see the cover right there of the rules. But most of this is just going to be us kind of doing sort of theater of the mind stuff. So I'll just give kind of some basic overview. Then I'll let Ashley read the welcome to the station thing, and then we'll kind of go over it. So in this game, like I said, we are running a space station. We're all going to play different characters, but not only are we going to play specific characters who each have their own kind of playbook of moves and abilities that they can do, we're also going to be taking turns and sort of rotating in and out what are called aspects. And so aspects are just sort of different concepts and themes and powers that are in the universe that we are role-playing within. And so when we're playing out different scenes, someone's going to pick up different ones of those. We'll go over them as we play, which aspects ends up coming into scenes more frequently based upon how we decide to act. And the characters themselves are all sorts of different ones as well. But we're all going to represent a different member of a space station. So, Ashley, I think you've got the station sheet up. Is that right? Shall we go through the "this much is true"?
Yes.
Okay.
I do have it up.
Or do we have to do...
is it something different?
We should do... I think it's welcome to the station. We do welcome to the station first. Do you have that up?
No, but let me see if I can control F.
Welcome to the station. Okay.
Okay, so imagine an all-consuming interstellar war spread across the vast galaxy and involving trillions of willing and conscripted participants. Then imagine a lone space station, ancient and strange, somehow set apart from this conflict. Throughout significant effort and fortuitous circumstance, it has remained unaffiliated and relatively peaceful, providing the sanctuary for lovers and thinkers refusing to side with the warring powers. But this hard-won neutrality is not even slightly secure. There's always someone offering vital resources and a little influence, plotting to displace our leaders or smuggling in military equipment into the station's forgotten corners.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So then the next thing, so that's the sort of broad overarching stuff. And so then the next thing we're supposed to do is, facilitator, I think the three of us who have read the rules are all going to share those duties. And then let's get into the this much is true stuff. Do you have that up, Melissa? We can take turns on reading these if you want.
I do.
Okay, so you want to start?
All right, we are a neutral station, widely recognized as unaffiliated with either side of the ongoing war.
Okay. The station is much older than our little community, and much of it is unexplored.
We have sufficient resources to ensure we meet all of our residents' basic needs.
Go ahead, Melissa.
We celebrate and value difference in many forms, both personal and cultural.
Have people figured out who hasn't read the rules yet?
Still trying to find where you're.
The station. The station PDF.
This is the station PDF, yeah.
Yeah.
We operate open borders, accepting new arrivals with compassion and providing for them as equal residents. Let's let Long get the last one in. Look at this much is true. The very last one.
The world outside is hostile and treacherous, so we avoid leaving our station whenever possible.
Okay, perfect.
These are our truths.
Yeah, so those are our truths. Okay, so now what we're going to do is the next thing we have to do is we have to kind of create the setting. There's other steps that you would do, especially like things like, safety tools and film rating and stuff. The four of us have played together so much that we have a tendency to kind of at this point know what we're willing to do and what we're not willing to do. But if you're playing at home, if you're playing with other people, you should definitely cover that in your own groups. But we are going to create the setting now. We just went over our this much is true stuff. So what we now need to do is we have to do a couple things. We have to come up with a name for the station. We have to so let's figure out what do we want to do. Last time we did a space station, we did drop D station. So what do we want to do this time? What are we thinking? Chat, feel free to throw out a name for a station.
Station name.
Station, let's see.
I would probably go with some sort of like alphanumeric designation.
Babylon 6? No. Babylon 17? No, the Babylon stations, you don't want to. They had some bad luck.
No.
Some bad luck.
Don't want their outcome.
Lost in space.
Lost in space? The Lost in Space station?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. We're the Lost in Space station.
All right.
Okay. So Ashley, you're keeping track of our station notes. Okay.
Yes.
We need a couple aesthetic touchstones that describe. I'm sorry, Bert. I did not mean to take the name of Babylon 5 in vain. First, we need to choose a few aesthetic touchstones describing the physical environment. So when we think about this, this is just broad strokes. If you're familiar with like Deep Space Nine, of the big rings and the large pylons, and if you're familiar with Babylon 5, kind of a more oblong shape, constantly spinning. So what's like a couple of the aesthetic touchstones that we have on Lost in Space Station? What are we thinking?
I like the suggestion that's in here of stained glass. I like that as one of the pieces.
All right, so we have lots of stained glass. Perfect. Yeah, that's the other thing. On the various play kits that come with the game, whether it's for the station or whether it's for the aspects or characters, there's all sorts of suggestions to make it a little bit easier, so you don't have to always come up with everything from scratch. You can kind of come up with your own. So Melissa picked stained glass. Long, once you pick one, it's under choose two to three structural features. So we've got stained glass. What else do you like?
It doesn't have to be in here, right?
No, you can pick. You can go off the.
I was thinking like a little garden or something.
Okay, so there's a
preservation garden that like has a bunch of flowers or trees or whatnot.
Like it.
I think that's one of the marks we made on the station.
Oh, it's a mark.
Yeah, so like one of the marks that we've
see.
made on the station is we have like a garden.
Okay.
There. So that's definitely one of the things we have to describe.
Let's do.
So many options. So some of the choices while you were thinking, and I'll read these to the chat. White plasteel, yellow handrails, modular bulkheads, integrated compartments, hexagonal blast doors, fractal architecture, observation windows, artificial sky, padded bulkheads, metal grating, rusted steel, rough stone, stained glass like Melissa picked, light bridges, nuclear reactor. Probably shouldn't do that one. They tend to explode on our streams. Smoldering furnace, swirling nebula, asteroid field, wrecked spaceships, and strand aurora.
Let's do light bridges.
Okay, light bridges. So we've got stained glass and we've got light bridges. Ashley, is there one that stood out to you?
I liked the thought of like an asteroid field of wrecked spaceships.
Okay.
Twofer.
Asteroid. Yeah, that makes sense. So we are near or bordering an asteroid field filled with wrecked spaceship parts in spaceships and stuff. Got it. I like it. Okay. Next thing we do is we choose 2 to 3 things that we found. So it could be abandoned militaria, defunct corporate branding, battle damage, garbled warning messages, levers and buttons. Well, we definitely found those. We have an old joke about levers in our gaming group. That's a really old joke in our gaming group. That's way
it's like the original. It's like the first line. You're like, there's a lever.
Yeah. I made the mistake in one of the first times we played D&D of saying there's a lever, and it was just nothing but levers for the rest of the damn adventure. So levers and buttons for sure. That's a thing we found. Lots of levers and buttons. Neat touch screens, monochrome CRTs, holograms, fluorescent lighting, bioluminescence, mold and spores, moss and lichen, grasping vines, sprawling roots, crystal growths, winding corridors, flooded pools. You hear something like
for sure.
Okay, holograms. Okay, so if you got,
I was gonna say holograms with garbled warning messages.
Okay, holograms.
Just randomly pop up, and we have no idea.
Okay,
what the warning is about.
Actually, you're writing this. You're taking these notes too, right? I'm just jotting random stuff.
Yes.
Garbling warnings.
Jeff, do we like glowing sigils or flooded pools of bioluminescence?
Well, it's summertime here in Arizona, so I'm all about pools. So flooded pools of bioluminescence. Levers and buttons. Okay. All right. So that's good for things we found. Now, marks we made. You had already mentioned a garden so we'll go ahead and throw that in there. So we've got a nice little garden. Maybe it's a garden that is built around that pool of bioluminescence or something like that. Perfect.
I was laughing at the suggestion in chat that all the panels are squishy.
Okay, we can do that. Everything's squishy. There's strange elasticity to everything. Okay. Let's see what else we got. So we've got habitation modules. Did we make some makeshift homes, community gardens, which we already said, shared kitchens, paste dispensers, maps and signs, hand-painted banners, neon lights, soft fabrics, tropical plants, painted routes, piles of trash, space garden gnomes. Yeah, definitely look out for space garden gnomes.
What kind of paste are we dispensing?
That's a great question. It's probably made from people. So we're doing paste dispensers. Okay, we're gonna do gardens.
Okay.
Paste dispensers.
Imagining it's like on the wall, like a hand sanitizer dispenser. We just like have no idea why it's there.
But it's just like a nutritional paste. So
yeah.
you're just like,
It's just proteins. That's all it is. It's just proteins. So you're good.
Protein.
It's the bioluminescence we've harvested.
So we put them in. Okay, so we put that in. What else do we have? We've definitely committed. We definitely created piles of trash, I think.
Okay.
All right. So now that we've got a few details, so let's just do like a quick run through. So this aesthetically, we are structurally, lots of different stained glass and light bridges all throughout our station, which is bordering a massive asteroid field filled with asteroids, but also like destroyed ships and stuff that are floating around because they didn't know that there was an asteroid field. And we also found a bunch of weird stuff on this station because it's not ours. We didn't make it. We found it. We're just inhabiting it. And we found a bunch of holograms that are constantly garbling warnings that probably no one can really understand. Levers and buttons galore. And then a bioluminescent pool of some kind. And in the process, what we've done to make the place more habitable for us is we've built some gardens. We've got some paste dispensers for protein supplements. And we've also got plenty of trash. Okay. So
Ashley,
now...
anything else about the... We also have a recommendation in chat. So we've got Ham's Meat coming out of those paste dispensers on the walls.
It's definitely Ham's Meat Company.
Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm marking that down.
Ham's Meat Company. I liked it. It makes me happy that it's managed to succeed all the way into the future, into space. For those listening who have no idea what the hell we're talking about, we play in a Things from the Flood game. We run that every other week on Mondays on Free League Publishing Channel. We play Things from the Flood. We have a Ham's Meat Company in 1992, so it's nice that they're still in business when whatever year this story is set in. Let's do threats. So we have to pick 3 3 threats. And these are going to come into play throughout the course of the game. In order for us to sort of complete the game, we have to resolve these 3 threats. It doesn't necessarily mean we overcome them. We just get to some form of resolution surrounding them. And there's a bunch of different ones that we can choose from. We can tweak them and do what we like. But hundreds of military starships are using a nearby moon as a staging area. That's one option. A critically damaged military cruiser is requesting docking privileges and emergency support. The scion of a powerful aristocratic family was just shot dead on our station, and nobody knows why. Star-crossed lovers from either side of the war are hiding out here while hunted by their superiors. Rowdy soldiers from both sides of the war have simultaneously taken shore leave here.
I like that one.
Okay, so that'll be one. Each one of you should pick one, I think. I think there's 3 of them, so each one of you pick one. So that's Melissa's. I'll just keep reading them, and then you guys pick which ones you hear that you like. Military scientists established a secret research base somewhere on our station. We cut a deal with outside forces to fix a critical system, and now they're calling their debt. A powerful crime lord plans to seize control of this station in a dramatic, violent coup. A weaver of the strand with incredible abilities and a long list of enemies is joining our community. It's basically like a magic user, if you want to think about it in those terms. One of our major suppliers has just been taken over by a predatory interstellar corporation. Prospectors discovered an asteroid belt rich with valuable dihydrogen fuel nearby. A rare, valuable artifact was just discovered in our station's vaults, and everyone wants it. Something deep and ancient in the station stirs, and things are getting weird. Residents have been disappearing, emerging days later as new members of a strange cult. Well, I found the one that Ashley's going to pick.
I like the last 2.
That prospectors discovering the asteroid belt makes sense because we're like in an asteroid belt.
Okay, so we've got
so
prospectors discovering asteroid belt. Perfect. Melissa, what was yours?
Mine was that we've got soldiers from both sides that are taking shore leave here at the same time.
Okay. And then Ashley's got 2, and we have to decide between these.
Which one do you think, Jeff?
So we've got something deep and ancient in the station stirs, and things are getting weird. Residents have been disappearing, emerging days later as new members of a strange cult. Does chat have a preference? I'm curious. Do we want to do something weird and ancient is in the station, or residents are disappearing and coming back as members of a strange cult? I don't know. Should be 50-50? I think we're in Foundry. We can let's do a 50-50 roll.
Do a roll.
All right. Let's do 1 to 50. We'll do the cult. And then 51 to 100, we'll do the strange, weird thing. 27. We got a 27. That's a loud dice. 27, so we're going to do cult. Right? So, too many windows. Okay, so we've got people disappearing and becoming a cult. All right. So then, let's see. Going through this, we created our station. Now we got to get to the aspects, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the next thing at home, if you're following at home, or if you're long and taking a look at this, open up the aspects play kit. There are a variety of aspects. We'll go through them a little bit here. Basically, again, aspects are like broad themes and concepts that are integral to the story itself. Like that's what's going to be happening. So it could be a location, it could be like a philosophy, a concept. It's lots of different things it could potentially be. And they all have their own specific playbook with moves and abilities and such that will come into play as we go through different scenes. There are 6 of these, and all of us are going to rotate them around as we're going to pick them up here and there and do different things from time to time. So I think what we'll do is each sheet has an introduction and pick up win statements. and we'll kind of go around and do these in order. So does everybody have it up? And we'll all take turns reading through these.
Yep.
Melissa, why don't you read the Interstellar War?
Okay, so it's an all-consuming conflict burning across the stars. Pick up when someone deals with soldiers, officers, or spies, or discovers the war is closer than they thought. So the introduction is a conflict without end. The two powers have been at war longer than most can remember. It began with the ideological differences and border disputes, but quickly escalated to a galaxy-wide schism. Now we live amid open, near inescapable galactic warfare. Almost every planet, asteroid, and construct in the galaxy has allied, willingly or otherwise, with one of the sides. The fact that our station has remained neutral is a miracle, one that requires constant vigilance and sometimes desperate action. Okay. So for creation, we have to name the two sides and choose two differences between them.
Okay. So,
the examples are the Union, the Federation, the Truth, the Empire, the Rebellion, the Principality, coordinators, etc.
So I don't think we have to. We don't have to do that all at once. I think we end up only picking a couple. We each choose one aspect. Do we do all of them? I thought we only did like a couple at once.
I would say, given what I picked for one of the threats, we would probably need to develop this one, so that we're ready to go. Right. Because we've got soldiers from both sides.
Yeah, I don't think I think we just choose like the four, since there's four of us, and so we'll all kind of choose one. So let's just go through and read the introductions and pickups, and then we'll kind of make a decision on which four we're gonna pick. So the Interstellar War obviously makes sense because of what you picked.
I'm gonna pick that one.
Okay, Ashley, you want to read the station?
Cool. The station itself. Pick up when someone interacts with life support system, wanders into unmapped corridors, or seeks the strange. Duct tape works anywhere. We did not build this station, we found it. As such, the life support systems are a capricious jumble of found, built, stolen, and traded machines. Often we feel more like marriage counselors than engineers, dousing little fires, tearing apart knotted cables, and arguing with our sometimes willful assistant. We keep things running, but so much of the station remains enigmatic and strange. Whenever we search for answers, we're left with more questions. And I think one of the things mentioned in the main book is that we haven't explored the whole station. There's a lot of it that we don't know about.
Right. And we have people who are disappearing somewhere probably into the lost doldrums of the station, and they're coming back suddenly part of a cult. So okay, so that's definitely a finalist. Long, if you got it up, can you read the markets?
Yeah, the markets, the ways we trade for resources on this station. Pick up when someone seeks a buyer, shops for something uncommon, or needs a job done. Trade away when it's your character's turn to do the same. Introduction. The shape of wealth. On the station, we live and work collectively, from each according to their ability to each according to their needs. Sometimes we argue, from squabbles over little luxuries to schisms over vital resources, but we always figure it out. However, as we grow, we've started to glint in the eyes of the galactic financiers. They see an untapped market, ripe for investment and profit. Worse still, some of the early ventures have solved problems we've been struggling with for years.
Okay. I got scum and villainy here in front of me. So we pick this up. This has to do with smugglers, gangsters, etc. So you pick up when someone visits the seedier parts of the station, witnesses a shady deal, or when things are too quiet. So when it says pick up, I think Melissa mentioned this, but I'll just stress it again. Like when it says pick up, it means like as a scene is playing out, if that scene involves suddenly like, hey, I want to go to this seedy part, or I witness like a drug deal like in like the back the back area, the dark areas of the station, that's when suddenly somebody picks up the aspects and they start using the various moves that they actually have on this particular sheet. So the introduction, like moss to a flame. This is pretty much the only populated place in the galaxy that's not an active war zone, a nightmarish police state, or a desperate, destitute backwater. The problem is this unique station makes us a haven for unsavory characters like Long, the sort found in every shady port, seedy bar, and dingy alley in the galaxy. There's an implicit agreement, written in sly nods and stolen glances, that they live with us as equals. Let's just hope they don't decide to change the terms. And so then next up is the unaffiliated. If Melissa, you want to hit that one?
Yep. So pick up when someone is dealing with friends and neighbors or when new people arrive on the station. So a sanctuary, a statement, a home. Like a flame to parchment, the war consumes utterly as it burns. In its wake, it leaves scorched cities, ashen fields, and broken people. Our home is a refuge from the raging conflict, and for all our differences, we are united in rebuking the war. Whether you have fled a ruined world, an oppressive regime, or something worse, we will welcome you with open arms. As our reputation grows, though, we can't help but stress over tallies and charts as we consider the limits of our hospitality.
Nice. And then Ashley, you want to hit the lambent strand?
Yeah, when someone draws on cosmic energies, asks for answers from the stars, or when a weaver reveals themselves, the ties that bind, we consider our lives ruled by complex but comprehensible processes. Our tangled biologies have, for the most part, been reduced to a large web of chemical equations. Our machines perform tasks so well that we consider them unremarkable. Our societies can be classified, segmented, and made predictable. But in this world, there is still phenomena beyond explanation, miracles even. Some people believe it's even possible to weave these threads to your own ends.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Okay, so the rules say we should choose one aspect, taking its sheet. So every one of us should choose an aspect. We take its sheet, and then we start kind of creating and filling out some of the stuff in it. The other ones kind of go into the center of the table, so to speak. They could still come into play at a later time if that's the way the story goes, but we're going to start with 4 and see if that's enough for us. So, Melissa, you were taking Interstellar War, you said?
Yes.
Okay, so did anybody... What are the other ones stood out? So we have 3 more to pick. Anything stand out to anybody else?
Yeah, the markets.
Okay, you got the markets?
I
Go for
liked
it.
the station.
Okay. All right, so then I think I want to do... I really like the Lambent Strand, but I think I'm going to do the unaffiliated because I feel like somebody has to be these people that are wandering off and becoming part of a cult, and who better than families, workers, and refugees that are, on this in the society. So I'll do unaffiliated.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got station, war, markets, and then we've got unaffiliated. So let's go through these one at a time then. So Melissa, what do you got to do for the Interstellar War?
So we have to name the 2 sides.
Okay.
And choose 2 differences.
Okay.
So,
Thoughts on the 2 sides?
so there's Hatfields and McCoy's
Okay.
suggestion in chat. So I am making it the Cap Yards and the McCraws.
Okay, sounds
So
good.
these are our 2 sides.
Cap yards, and what was the second one?
McCraws.
Macross. Okay. Are these like a species, like a different alien species, or different factions of the same alien species, and it's like a civil war?
It's essentially a big old civil war that everybody's
Okay.
just picked.
We don't need
What
your
sides
civil
they're
war,
going to.
but okay. Okay. And then we got to choose 2 differences. So what are the 2 differences?
I'm going to say the differences are... so the choices here are colors they wear, languages, interpretation of text, views on tradition, vision of the future.
Okay.
So I'm going to say one is going to be vision of the future.
Okay.
And the other one I'm just going to go with colors.
Okay.
Just wear different colors.
Just wear different colors. That's going to make it easier. It always makes it easier when everyone coordinates like that, Yeah. Ashley, you got the station itself. What do we got to do?
We need to name the station assistant.
Okay.
I like mother.
Sure. And then choose 2 directives.
Let's see. So some options are to protect that which grows within, to cultivate life before harvest, to maintain impeccable records, to prepare the return of the makers, to keep the signal blazing, and to contain a terrible evil. I love to contain a terrible evil and to cultivate life before harvest.
Okay. Cultivate life before harvest.
That goes with all the plant stuff
Jeez.
that Long was talking
It
about. too.
does. Well, I think I was reading it a different way.
I was as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cultivating the life on the station before that ancient terrible evil comes and harvests us, the people on the station.
Got it.
Okay. Okay. And then let's hit over to the markets. So the market's long. You got to name the outside investor.
Oh, okay.
There's a list. There's Red Sun Galactic, Mag Bank Alliance, PopCorp, Bright Star Power, Valdivian Intergalactic, Blitcoin Zeta Group, or Blitcon Zeta Group, Worry Free Limited, Murdoch the Undying, or come up with something on your own.
I like PopCorp.
Okay, so PopCorp. So they are our outside investor. Okay, PopCorp is pretty great. And then choose two intentions. So the list that you could choose from, or again, come up with something on your own. So choose intentions, establish their franchises, commodify our traditions, control our media, offer conditional safety, make us a tourist destination, turn us into entertainment. So two intentions.
Let's do offer conditional safety.
Okay.
Just think of how easy it would be to sacrifice people if they thought we were a tourist spot. You know?
It's true. More people coming here. We can. Yeah, let's make a tourist destination.
Okay.
It's like,
It's a
I'm
safe
gonna go
tourist.
backpacking in the woods. I'm gonna go visit to Lost in Space Station and never come back.
I totally forgot. The name of our station is Lost in Space Station. You stumbled out of the gate with it. Okay. And then finally, I had the unaffiliated. I have to name an upcoming event. So the choices are Grand Prix, Wingleton, Red Line, The Solstice, Life Day, Armistice Day, Gold Week, The Long Night, Lavender Phase, The Feast of Saint Lazare, Loudfest, and Union. Okay, Loudfest made me laugh, but The Long Night sounds like fun. Like we're
I
like
the long night.
I like The Long Night too. So yeah, upcoming event is The Long Night.
Can we add to our structural features? Because remember, one of the option was artificial night skies.
Yeah.
Like the long night, those turn off.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. Like we have to recharge or something.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. And then choose a naming system. The streets named after our founders, sequential hab codes, like old Earth suburbs, colored sections, towns from our homeworlds, haphazard and unplanned. It's just maintenance, but they turn into the holiday to not scare the populace. Yeah, exactly. I think I'm gonna go. I think old Earth suburbs sounds hilarious because we could just do different suburb gated community things. Like this is the Pine Tree Golf Club over here. Do you have a golf court? No, we don't. No.
No.
This is,
Do we know what a pine tree is?
This is this is Sandy Oaks Country Club. Let's just do haphazard and unplanned. I think that makes most sense the way I'm envisioning it. Okay. All right, so that's it for aspects. And now let's get over to characters, right? That's what's next. So same thing. There is a characters play kit. We can start going through these. There are 6 of these, but there's also 2 more that have been released as like a little expansion supplement. And so we're all going to create a character. Everyone creates one. So I'm just going to give the summary and then shout out whichever one you guys like. So there's the Source, which is a resourceful individual with connections to get what you need. There's the Heart, a hospitable individual with their own venue serving the community. There's the Wrench, a pragmatic individual burdened by duty, ready to pass the torch. The signal, a compelling individual looking to create political change. The monitor, a prudent individual quietly observing the populace, and the shadow, a concealed individual working towards a secret mission. Any of those sound cool to you all that you want to grab? Everyone gets one.
I think the monitor is pretty cool.
Okay. So grab the monitor. Long, anything stand out to you liked?
The source.
Okay. So yours is the source. Melissa?
The heart.
The heart. Okay. And I think I'm going to go the wrench. I'm ready to pass torch because I'm really old and I'm burdened by duty and I'm ready to pass the torch. That sounds like me because I'm old and on the verge of death. All right, so let's get into these. Let's build these characters. Like, this is something like we'll do semi together, obviously. But each character has its own big sheet. There's like a Mad Lib that we fill out. They have their own moves, things that they can do, and they also have like a little introduction. So, who's the monitor?
Ashley.
Okay, Ashley, you want to start us off?
Ooh, okay.
Read your introduction section. Like,
Who is the monitor? Most of the time, this place operates as an organic system, a harmonious mesh of people and goods flowing through the docks, hallways, bars, and homes on the station. From within this tangled entity, it's impossible for any one person to see the station as a whole. But you are not within it. You operate from above, staring down with blinking cameras and whispered observations at the currents of activity below. You alone can see the big picture, the trends, the warning signs, the grave dangers. Play to find out. Am I a guardian, a voyeur, or a tyrant? Can I convince others to heed my warnings? Which parts of the station are hidden from me?
okay.
That's pretty cool.
Melissa, you have yours ready?
1 second.
Long, do you got yours?
Yeah,
You want to read the introduction part?
sure thing. Let's see. On a typical 24-hour cycle, spacers can expect to be reliably provided with breathable air, tolerable temperatures, and portable water, and some kind of dull grayish substance marketed as food. Anything else, they'll have to figure out themselves. You have built out a wide network of suppliers both on and off the station, whether operating out of a relatively legitimate shopfront or whispered deals in the back alleys and bustling bars. You can most certainly get what they need. That is, so long as they can afford your prices. Play to find out, are you a predator or a provider? Do you have good friends or just good clients? And if things start to fall apart, who do you prioritize?
Awesome. Ashley?
Oh, I went already.
Oh, my bad. Melissa.
Who is the heart? We spend every day on an artificial construct far from sunshine's warmth or the chorus of birdsong. For all the freedom our efforts have earned, it's easy to feel caged, isolated, or even trapped. You work hard to make station life more tolerable, even enjoyable, using your space to provide the community with valuable services and hospitality, but you also struggle with a troubled history, forever haunting your thoughts, and, sometimes, causing real issues when the past refuses to stay buried.
Okay, sorry. I was looking at I'm really excited about my name choices. Okay, so I'm the wrench. On the station, everything from the air I breathe to the food I eat needs cold, hard technology to operate. If these systems malfunction, things can break pretty badly, and pretty quickly. Fortunately for us, I'm here. Fixing, servicing, and improvising. I keep the crucial life support systems operating almost entirely on my own. But one day, I'm not going to be here anymore. So you're making a plan, or I'm making a plan. I've taken on an apprentice, someone new to shoulder my burden. Training them will be my final and most challenging task. So I'm playing to find out, am I respected or just relied upon? Would you ever abuse your unrestricted access? Well, that we know the answer to that. How easily will you give up your responsibilities? Those are the three questions I have. So there's lots of different things and I started already doing mine. So why don't you guys go ahead and start filling in the blanks of your character profile? and I'll just sort of fill air while you guys are doing that because I've already started a little bit. So basically, what the character sheets have is a Mad Lib, and it's a little story, a character profile, and then there's a list of the different options. So you can have like your name, pronouns, species, a couple different physical things that comprise your look, your style, like what you're wearing, or like what's the most appealing piece of equipment you have on, something like that, things you carry, all that kind of stuff. And it's gonna slightly change for each character. Some of, like, obviously they all start the same with like name and such, but like when you get into the deeper parts of that specific profile, it's a little bit more customized based upon the character that you have. What we're going to do once we finish this is that we are going to then kind of develop bonds between each one of us. The playbooks that have been provided for these different characters also have like questions that help suggest ways that we can connect our characters to other people. So what we would end up doing is find ways to connect the person to our left. So I would be connecting to Long, Ashley to me, Melissa to Ashley, and Long to Melissa, which isn't to say that we're not all going to interact, but we're just finding ways to create some sort of connection. The other thing that each character does is they get to establish minor NPCs that make up the station, and there's some suggestions. So for me, for instance, there's the mysterious hacker who keeps pranking me, the brilliant pilot I build custom racers for, the retired engineer I trade stories with, the sponsor who keeps me clean, the ancient mural that whispers to me, okay, and my distant teenage son. And so all of these are things that we all get to kind of piece together to help create kind of a living, breathing station to some degree. Has anyone finished their profile yet?
I think I have.
Okay. Do you want to introduce us to your character, the Heart?
Sure. Okay, so my name is Adelia. She, her. I am Onsiet, which is a many-eyed alien. When you first see me, you'll probably notice my eyes. Obviously, I have many eyes. My pointed ears and elongated body. I wear flowing robes and round glasses, which is funny because I have lots of eyes and lots of glasses. And I always carry an array of utensils. You'll find me at my place providing craft beverages, the best food on the station, and rumors and gossip in service of my community. My place has dark corners and vibrant fabrics. I run it as a kind of penitence for my troubled past. To this day, I am haunted by the shot I didn't take. I consider myself caring, charitable, and established. I wonder if I will ever be again. Oh, I messed up that last part. Sorry. I consider myself to be caring and charitable, though I am no longer important, and I wonder if I ever will be again.
Okay. Who else is next? Who else is ready? I'm almost done, but not quite there. So, I'll start reading mine, and I'll fill it out as I go. So, when you create your name, it gives you suggestions on how to piece your name together. So my name is blank, and then the suggestions are a blue-collar name, a farm animal, a kind of hard liquor, a tool, a gemstone, or a three-letter alias. So what I did is I combined two of those choices, farm animal and a kind of hard liquor, because it already exists. And so I went, my name is Wild Turkey. Pronouns are he, him. I'm a cyborg. And when you first see me, you'll probably notice my grizzled beard, smoky aura, and sensor array. I wear functional overalls, a utility belt, and I always carry a pack of smokes. I happily work on fixing up hydroponics. I figured I'd throw that in there since we do have gardens. Station AI, we also have a station AI, all day. And this is where I have to pick one I don't want to work on. So I have, let's see. Okay. Broken hearts, though, it's one of my choices. Broken hearts, though, would stay broken forever if I had a choice. And so then I'm getting my outlook, and so my outlook choices are ready to leave, too old for, too good for, sick and tired of, worn down by, nihilistic about, or enthralled by. So I'm getting worn down by, I think makes most sense, this job. So I'm training, and now I have to come up with my apprentice. And so I have to name and add them to my list of minor characters. It could be a gifted little vent rat, a surly teenage prodigy, a veteran looking to repent, a scoundrel you caught stealing, a synthetic you're falling in love with, my feckless younger sibling, a cursed machine spirit. I'm going to do Yawa, the surly teenage prodigy.
Okay.
Nice.
If you've got a problem, you'll usually find me, and I have to decide my hangout. So it could be tinkering in my little workshop, doing rounds in the service decks, drinking at my favorite bar, tuning up in the pits, teaching class at the rec. Obviously, it's going to be drinking at my favorite bar. And then I consider myself, then I pick my traits. And so my options are respected, dependable, invasive, strange, agreeable, patient, happy, zealous, obscure, addicted, faithful, quiet, old, and free, lost, home, at peace, lonely. I'm old, and I'm gonna put lonely. And when I retire, I hope to be, let's see. I hope to be at peace. Okay. When can I set my tools down for the last time? So that's Wild Turkey, or just Turkey. Just call him a Turkey. Full name's Wild Turkey. Yep. Okay. Either Ashley or Long, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Okay, go for it.
My name is Nyx. To create a name, it gave an example of a simple color, an executive mark, common surname, 3-letter alias, cold-blooded animal. I'm an onsiet, or a many-eyed alien, and when you first see me, you'll probably notice my numerous eyes, my raspy voice, and my long, segmented torso. I wear simple jewelry and patterned scarves, because clothes don't really make sense on me. And I always carry a bulky camera. From afar, I observe and influence the station with coded messages, hidden cameras, and my trusted enforcer. Without my vigilance, I fear our home will become a dead colony or a prized pawn in the war. If you must bother me, you'll usually find me hunched over my workstation, which is like, from what I'm gathering, I'm like a little bit separated, like above, so I don't know if people can really easily get to me. But I consider myself necessary and isolated, though I'm often labeled as paranoid. Can I convince people that I'm a force for good?
Okay. I like it. What was your name again?
Nyx, NYX.
NYX. And Melissa, what was yours?
Adelia.
Adelia.
It's an old school name, is one of the prompts. What is your character type, Ashley?
Onsiet, I'm an alien.
You're, like, Jeff is the wrench and I'm the heart. Which one are you? Sorry.
Monitor.
Oh, I'm the monitor.
Monitor, that's right.
Long, you ready?
We'll do it as I go, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So here we go. My name is Coin.
Okay.
I'm Camborn, a shape-shifting alien.
Ooh.
When you first see me, you'll probably see or notice my convincing smile, convincing in quotations, manicured nails, and that's a squat frame, so I guess I'm like squatting all the time.
You're short and
You're
squat?
you're just short. I don't think you're like literally walking around like crab walking or anything. I think your squat just means kind of short, stocky kind of.
He's just constantly working on his legs.
Though if you want to just be crab walking
I just want
everywhere.
to be squatting all the time.
Okay. You're always ready. Gotta squat. Ready to uncoil.
Let's see. 2 styles? Wait, hold on. Was I supposed to do... Oh yeah, choose 3 looks, 2 styles.
What's your class again? Like what's your
The source?
the source?
Source,
Okay. Bring it up.
Okay, I wear... Let's see. We'll do dark glasses and fine silks.
Ooh.
And I always carry a big sack of loose change.
Your
That's
name
why
is
you're
coin.
squatting. It's so heavy. It's just weighing you down.
It's all coming together.
Oh my god. I feel like if Keith was in this game, we would be hearing sack jokes right now.
Let's see.
Okay, so where you at? Choose what you carry. So you mainly deal in what? What are your 3
I mainly
wares?
deal in exotic plants,
Okay.
bootleg holovids.
This is contract killings. Holy crap. Hard drugs. Places to live. You're a real estate agent.
Yeah, we can do that too. Places to live.
I'm just
Oh.
I'm just reading them out because fill in air.
Let's do false identities.
Nice.
That works.
Okay. And then what are your 2 currencies that you accept payment in?
Clearly coin.
State,
walk around with a big bag
no,
of
that's the
coins.
funny thing. He just really likes those coins. So his options are station chits, galactic credits, trade goods and barter, naughty contracts, protection, gashapulls, works of art, your time, home cooked meals, whispered truths, salacious gossip, or fawning praise. So you get
I'll-
2 of those.
Yeah, I'll do galactic credits for sure.
Okay.
And then we'll do
Naughty
Whispered-
contracts.
whispered truths.
Okay. All right. And then if you need something you usually find, where would we find you? Where's your hangout? So your choice is slinking around the cargo bay, hawking wares at the floating bazaar, catching the matinee, reclining in a private booth, in an alley behind a bar, your pokey little office, arguing with station management. Home cooked meals.
No, you'll probably find me in the alleyways behind bars.
There we go. I think I know how you and I are going to be connected. Okay.
Ashley, you can help me come up with the name of my place because I have to come up with the name of my place on the station.
Yeah, so I hang out at the bar all the time. You're in the alleyway behind the bar all the time. Let's come up with the name of the bar. So what's the name of the bar, Long?
That's my place. I own the bar.
Okay, so yeah, all 3 of us are involved. All of us are
Right,
involved,
okay.
really. So what's the bar?
What is
What do you
the
think
bar?
the name of the bar should be?
It can't be anything too, like, fancy, or else I don't think Turkey would be there.
Low bar.
It should be
The low bar.
I was thinking low standards. I like low bar.
It's the low bar. I like that.
That's
Okay.
great.
Good job, Long. So we are, just to recap, we're on the Lost in Space station, and we often hang out at the low bar. Okay. Perfect. Any other things that we have to come up with that you guys had from your...
Just if we have any minor characters that we want to connect.
Yeah, so I've got Yawa, who is a young brilliant like wunderkid, like a teenager that I'm training as my apprentice. And then I think we each have like 2 NPCs that we can create, but like one of the other things it suggests is to have overlap. So instead of having like 8 NPCs that we all came up with, like we can do that, sure, but maybe one of the ones I create, Long picks up, or one of the ones Melissa creates, Ashley picks up, or whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, it's the same person, so it's that person for you, but it's also this person for me. So for me, for instance, I have to come up with like a mysterious hacker who keeps pranking me, brilliant pilot I build custom racers for, retired engineer I trade stories with, sponsor who keeps me clean, the ancient mural that whispers to me, and then my distant teenage son. So I feel like we have that cult thing going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now there's an ancient mural that's whispering to me. So let's do that one. So what's this ancient mural of? What do we think?
Ooh.
There's an ancient evil, right? That's coming to harvest us of some kind. So maybe it's God, I'm totally gonna start spoiling our Worlds Without Number campaign if I give that
don't do
idea.
that.
No, I'm gonna do that. So let's it's an ancient mural of like some kind of like nebulous space battle, and like something like that. Or no, because it's gotta talk to me, right? So it's gotta
It should
be
be a
people in it.
portrait of someone.
Yeah, I like
Who
that
is
too.
talking? Yeah.
Or it could be
Kind of
like could be like what it could be like, like I don't want to you know what I'm talking about, Melissa. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What?
Like the whole I can't remember the name. It's the ceiling.
Oh,
yeah,
where they're touching fingers.
Yeah.
Michelangelo's.
It's the Sistine Chapel, right? No,
Yeah, I
okay.
think so.
Blanking. Whew, sorry.
Or you could do the whole horror trope where the painting is actually just like that of like a basic forest, but like someone walks to you out of the forest and like talks to you.
Ooh.
Okay, let's do like an alien forest path or something like that. But it's not like pine trees. It's like they're like weird, colorful trees.
Mm-hmm.
And in the center of the path, there's like some kind of alien shadow, like a silhouette of something.
Oh, in chat, the picture is of Turkey, but he's young.
Oh boy.
But it's an ancient picture.
Maybe that's what I see when I go in. Maybe it's a silhouette. It's like a holograph. And when I talk to it, that's what I see. I see a younger version of myself. Okay, so a holographic silhouette. I'm tying everything together. So holographic silhouette.
So Long, I need to have an investor. Well, one of the things for me is an investor who wants to buy me out. So might there be some other like Richie Rich that's like a rival of you, maybe? If that might be one of your kind of minor characters, maybe? I'm not sure what your list says. Just thinking of a way to tie us together.
Where is this under the residence that we make?
Yeah.
So you basically
I've-
pick 2.
I've got an investor that
or-
buys me out, and so I was just thinking that maybe that's a way that we could connect our characters is the investor that wants to buy me out is some resident that's connected to you since you're Mr. Moneybags.
Let's see. Okay, we can do some sort of unknown investor or competitor person.
What should we call him?
Just call him Gary.
Gary. Okay. But it's spelt with a Q. No, it's not. Actually, what do you have? What do you have to make? What are your residents? What are your suggestions for NPCs?
Mine are either my former mentor turned biggest critic, the spouse I love less than my job, my naive, faithful assistant, the therapist that absolves me of my guilt, a fragmented AI that I can't work without, a charming rogue I can't help but loving. So I think I kind of like the AI. I think it's gonna be Mother.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Is anyone? I have two. I have my two. I have Yawa, the young, brilliant assistant that I'm training, and then I got the ancient mural thingy that talks to me. It's the holograph. It might talk to other people, or maybe it just talks to me. Who knows? Um, but those are the two. So, Melissa, Long, do you have a second that you have to come up with?
Yeah, my residents are like I have a smuggler, a tranquil hippie who grows fresh vegetables.
Well, we
A
do have a
vet rat.
garden. We do have the garden.
Mm.
Yeah, it's possible. That's true, Galen. That the mural I have could be Mother speaking to me in a different way.
Ooh.
I like that. Mother? Question mark. Do you want to do the hippie guy with the vegetables since we have the gardens?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Melissa, do you have a second you have to make?
Yeah, I just a drunk that's kind of always around.
So me. Okay. I probably would know that drunk. So who's your drunk?
Um, I was going to say.
That's the thing. I only go for coffee. I come to the bar and just get coffee.
I will say Danielle is our drunk.
Danielle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, Danielle, or it should be like Pam. My name's Pam.
All right.
What was hippie guy's name?
Yeah, you gotta come up with a name for your hippie.
Oh right, he can be tomato.
Oh.
Yep. This is why I picked haphazard naming. Okay.
My other one's gonna be the charming rogue I can't help but loving. I think that's gonna be Yawa.
Okay, the little kid. He's just a teenager.
Oh, he's a kid.
He's a
Never
teenager.
mind.
Okay.
Um. Then it's gonna be Gantu.
We can make him older. I don't see why. We can make him like in his 20s or something, like 20. He's a frat boy age or something.
He can. Does he have total himbo vibes?
he does now.
Okay, then
Okay,
that's
good.
it.
Okay, that's fine. That makes sense. Cool. All right. So you've got. So let's just review so far. Jeff is playing Wild Turkey, the wrench, old guy, fixes up everything, has a young assistant named Yawa that he's trying to train to take over. I also periodically sometimes go to weird parts of the station, one specifically where there's a mural, a holographic mural within some strange kind of alien forest, and it talks to me, and sometimes I can be seen talking back to it. And I tend to hang out at the low bar almost all the time. It's where I run into Long's character quite often, and also Danielle, a regular drunk at the low bar. Ashley, do you want to do a little recap on yours?
My character's the monitor. Her name is Nyx. She's kind of separated from the station up above, but she has contact with Yawa, who is the charming young man that she can't help but love. He's a bit of a himbo. Um, I also can't work without constant contact with Mother. She's always talking to me, and I'm always talking to her. And I also have listed my trusted enforcer. Um, I was thinking that can either, if you're cool with it, be Wild Turkey or Yawa.
Is that I think
Like
that's
you're-
I think
I
it's supposed to be an NPC, right?
It could be, but I was trying to like think that maybe that could be our relationship, like my positive relationship with you is that you're my trusted enforcer.
Okay, yeah. I mean that makes sense. An old guy, maybe both me and Yawa, not just do that. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
because we can get to go wherever we want, and people know us because we fix things, and so we can see things going on. So,
What was your name again, Ashley?
Nyx NYX.
okay. Melissa, you want to give us a quick summary?
Okay, so I am Adelia. She is a many-eyed alien who is the heart. She owns a bar called the Low Bar. She's got Gary, who is a rich investor that wants to buy her out. She's got Danielle, who is a drunk that is always around. And I'm gonna say I'll go with one of my insights is a suspicious manifest was mislaid in my place.
Okay. Oh yeah, did we choose? I totally forgot about that. Did we choose insights right now?
What was the inside thing?
It's on your connections. I can't remember if you choose them right off the bat or not.
Looking it up.
Yeah. Long, why don't you give us a little summary of yours while we looked it up?
Yeah, so I'm Coin. I'm a little shapeshifting alien, many forms, but you'll notice me just always squatting around and smiling creepily.
Okay.
And yeah, pretty much get anything and whatever people need.
And he never sneaks up anybody because you can hear him
Right,
coming from a mile away. It's like, oh, I think that's old Coin. Garen's coins. I
So
can't.
the insights
Yep.
come up in the opening scenes.
Yeah.
So when we do our opening scenes, that's when we do it.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, I think we are done with creating our characters, getting the aspects situated, and yeah, are we ready to?
Got to do our bonds to the person.
Oh well, yeah,
to our left.
that's right. Ashley, I'm your enforcer.
Yeah.
I think Long, you're a source. You're a dealer. I think you get me like booze and drugs and smokes. Does that make sense? Because you're at the bar in the alleyway, you get things. Not always necessary. I'm not talking about like cocaine and shit like that, but I'm talking about like the good hard liquor that the low bar doesn't really provide, and smokes, which the low bar, good stuff, Melissa, good stuff. You know, like wild turkey, like rare breed wild turkey.
Known for craft beverages, excuse you.
Craft beverages. Okay. All
But
right.
their beverage is made out of Kraft mac and cheese.
Okay. Melissa, what's your connection to Ashley?
I know we're the same species. So maybe we arrived here at the same time. Oh,
Would
We're
you
in
say
the
Ashley?
same brood. I said we're siblings. We're in the same brood.
Cool. I like it. Long, what's your connection to Melissa?
Let's see.
So like there's bond connections that you can go off of. Goes good with ham's meat paste. Oh god.
Yeah, there's some options here. It's like, what did you request that I'm struggling to find? Or what did you insist? Or why did I insist you didn't have to pay?
so something that I want that you're struggling to find?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say there's some rare ingredient that some like like black truffle-ish kind of like ingredient that's
Like
kind
a
of hard to
mushroom,
find.
Okay.
That yeah.
Yeah. So mine specifically with you, Long, is how did we end up eating our lunches together? So I like to think that we have become friends and we literally eat lunch because we go to the same bar and you get me the things I need.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Cool. Right on. All right. Oh, is that Jeremy I see in chat? What's up, man?
Meat drinks.
We have meat drinks. Oh yeah. We should do like meat shakes and stuff. All right. I think we finished up all of our characters. I think we've got everything else done. Our threats, just to remind everybody, prospectors are discovering the asteroid belt. There are soldiers that are taking, like soldiers from opposite sides of the war, of the Civil War, are taking shore leave on our station, which could potentially bring conflict onto our station. People are disappearing on the station, and when they come back, they're members of some kind of cult. So what we do is we play in rounds, and every round we all take an action, so we were able to define a particular scene. Minor scene is one where we just develop our character. It's usually just our character, and usually we're just sort of narrating it as opposed to acting it out in sort of first person. It's more like narration in third person, but that's flexible, obviously. A major scene is when you want to move the plot forward. So it's when you want to ask and answer a big question surrounding usually one of these three threats, and you're moving that plot forward. That one will evolve multiple characters, so you'll usually pick 2 characters to be part of it, and you kind of move on from there. Hey, Captain Kirian, how's it going, man? And then the last one is kind of listening to the station, and that's more about the ambiance of the station. So we kind of got these different groups. So we've got different people here and there. So it could be people at the bar. It could be some of these prospectors. It might be a group of people who are who are doing the shore leave or something like that. So that's what we mean by that. Like it's kind of like you're narrating and describing how they're reacting to events or how they're behaving in some way. And so those are the 3 actions we take. In each round, each one of us picks an action and we go. And that's kind of what we go for there. So does anyone have questions about that?
No.
Nope.
And then during a main scene, like a major scene, that's when you start busting out your moves. So there's basic moves, strong moves, and weak moves. You can see them on your play sheet, on your play kit. All the materials for this game, by the way, are top notch. Everything is super easy to read. The layout's really cool. All the character play kits, all of the aspect play kits, even the station handout stuff, all of it. It's just like this game literally makes everything so easy to just sort of pick up. So basic moves are things that we all can basically do. Strong moves require us to spend a token. We don't start the game with any. To get tokens, you have to do a weak move first, which is showing some sort of vulnerability for your character. Like you're basically doing something that shows weakness. Or someone could try to help you out with a lore, which kind of asks you to tell us something vulnerable about them. And all of that, again, is on the character sheet. So if you want to take a look at that as we play. It's giving you some ideas about what to play your character to. And we also have tons of ideas that we built up as we developed the station. So first round, we all do minor scenes, and we're really just sort of describing something that's going on. Like, what is our character doing? It's every day. It's a normal day. What is your character doing in the normal day? So anybody want to get that started?
I'll go first.
Okay, go for it, Melissa.
Okay. So, when we first see Adelia, it's going to be kind of wee hours of the morning. Her, the low bar has been closed. She's the last one there. She's doing, finishing up sort of the stereotypical, kind of cleaning the glasses and wiping down all the booths. You see the fabrics really stand out here. There are lots of kind of vivid colors and patterns and all these kind of things. They don't go together necessarily. They're just there and they're loud. They're kind of old and worn down. They definitely haven't been replaced in a while. But as she kind of cleans up the bar and is moving around, kind of doing some final kind of wipe downs of all of the tables and booths and everything, in a booth kind of in a dark back corner, she kind of almost doesn't notice it at first when she's kind of wiping down the booth, the seats, but her cloth kind of hits a piece of paper kind of tucked in the corner, and she reaches over and kind of pulls it out, and there's this manifest that lists this location that seems unusual and lists this kind of ore as being kind of on the manifest. And she, generally keeps herself in the know with things that are going on. And this seems like a new player, new business, new resource. So it's definitely piquing her interest. So she kind of looks around, folds it up, and puts it in her apron.
Okay. Awesome. Anybody else ready?
I can go.
Go for it.
Am I able to do a weak move in a basic?
I think the minor one we were saying before, we don't really use move. I mean, I think you can use moves in the minor scenes, but I think the minor is more about just sort of like doing a baseline establishment.
Yeah. Okay. So Nyx is up in her little observatory office, and it's relatively dark, so it's easier for her to see all her monitors and out her windows, and they're kind of aligned so she can look at multiple windows with all of her different eyes and stuff. And you hear Mother kind of speaking to her in a droning voice about basic statistics of that's happening with the space station, like oxygen levels are stable, stuff like that. And she gets a call on her holodeck phone or whatever, and she's kind of annoyed, but she opens it, and it's her mother, and she's like, so where have you been? You know, you haven't been here for dinner in a long time. Like, you know, when are you gonna come see your family? You know, Adelia's having a hard time with her bar. You know, you should help out more. And she's just kind of really annoyed, and you know, kind of treats her mom as just like another data point instead of just like her mom, and just rattles off some facts about the station and how this is more important than, you know, wasting my time coming down to eat dinner. I can eat dinner up here. And then she turns to talk to Mother, and so Mother, please end the call. And then just kind of hangs up and just goes back to observing.
Awesome. I like it. Okay, so I'll do mine. I'm deep in the one. Let's see what sector I'm in. I'm sort of like in the bowels of the station. I got Yawa with me. We're crawling through HVAC vents. Apparently, this section, which is by the pine tree quadrant, the air has been kind of running thin, and people have been kind of reporting on like problems with the HVAC, and so Yawa and I are crawling through the vents trying to get down to the fan, figuring out why the motor's not working, and we get down there, and you know I'm just complaining the whole time, the whole way, and trying to like educate him on how to get the motor back online. But as we're down here and we're going through it, and he's being the smartass that he is, we suddenly hear this strange like squeaking, and we see this rat just come flying out from behind the that sort of the fan itself, because it's moving very slow and rigidly, and it just bursts out and then just runs by us, and we think and it heads back the way we came towards, you know, the basic parts of the station, and it's just the usual stuff like, okay, well, that's kind of strange. And then we hear echoes of just like more rats and more rats until we see about 2 or 3 dozen just start pouring out from behind this fan, and terrified, it seems. They're freaking out. They're just running right past us, and we have to like dodge out of the way. Like I'm complaining about getting covered, about like I'm getting too old for this shit type of stuff. And then finally, I mean, like we kind of look at each other, we exchange a look. We're like, what the hell were they running from? And but we decide, you know, because we get maybe a little call from Mother that like the inhabitants of the pine tree sector still need their air anytime now. Like fine. So we fix it, the fan starts going, and we don't necessarily go inspect whatever it was that they were scared and running from. And so, Long, what's your starting minor scene?
All right, Coin's gonna be crouched in his usual back alley. He's got customers lined up. They're wanting the latest bootleg vids, less expensive, much easier to obtain. So they're willing to pay pretty much any price. And I just let them know that I'll have someone send it your way or their pickup location, so they don't do dealings out in the open. And I just go about my day selling that until I meet up with Tomato, the hippie in the garden. And I'm always asking him, seeing his new crop, seeing if he can grow what I need to make
Devil's lettuce.
to make sure I can use it to my advantage. Keeping up with my I guess merchants, or my people I do business with, just keeping good relations with them. making sure they can get me what I want when I need it. And I'm willing to pay a valuable coin in my sack to do so.
Doing the deals.
Very nice. Long, can you turn your outbound up a little bit?
Yeah, let me take a look.
Chat was saying you're a little quiet. So let's see if we can turning down music just a little bit, see if that helps. Okay. All right, so that's the end of the first round. So yeah, and if anybody's got something they want to go, we can start doing major scenes. We can start doing other stuff. We got temperature checks, that kind of stuff. So anybody have something they feel like doing? And again, we're all kind of ultimately trying to resolve some of the threats that we're facing, right? Whatever, those three things, like when we finish the game is when we've like felt like we've satisfactorily resolved the issue with the cults, the issue with soldiers taking shore leave, the issues with prospectors discovering an asteroid belt and kind of moving into our territory a little bit. So any thoughts on that? Anybody have an idea? I was thinking, go ahead, Ashley, if you got something.
Well, I was thinking, like, I don't know if it would be a major move, but I was thinking more of like a weak move where I have noticed, like, Mother's reported that there's been some disappearances, like an influx of disappearances, and I don't really take it seriously like I should. I treat them more like data points instead of people. So I'm just like, oh no, those, because like say they're like some of the shady folk more than anything, and I'm spending most of my time focused on the people who are coming in from the different factions and stuff and paying attention to them, that I'm not really paying attention to our actual people anymore.
So are we talking about major scene, minor scene, or a read the station scene?
Would that be a major scene?
If it involves you in pushing the story forward, it's a major scene. And so then
then major.
Okay, so then pick 2 or more characters that you want to be there.
If you want, Ashley, I could be telling you about somebody, like maybe a regular who didn't come by for the last couple nights.
Okay.
We could kind of do it that way.
Perfect.
We could do, I just came down, like, it's after work. Mom actually cowed me into coming down to dinner. So they're meeting you at the bar to pick you up to go to dinner. And maybe turkey or coin is still hanging about, if we have to have 2 people.
Yeah. And so then, like, as we're going, I'll just, say, yeah, I'm really worried about, Danielle. She's always in the bar, like, all the time. I mean, I talk about her and kind of the crazy stories she comes up with, and, she's always there. She hasn't been there the last 2 nights.
Well, statistically speaking, she's probably on a bender and she just wasn't able to make it to the bar. Did you check the gutters? And
I mean, I did a sweep around, the back area where I see, some of the other guys sometimes, and I didn't see her there.
If she doesn't show up in another day or so, then report it. But I wouldn't worry about it.
I care about the people that come into my bar. I mean, yes, I'm making money when they come in, but like I care about them and I want them to be okay. And
so I'm going to go ahead and use an aspect. I'm going to pick up an aspect.
Perfect.
So I'm going to pick up the unaffiliated. So it's dealing with friends and neighbors. You mentioned Danielle, so she lives in the area. So I feel like that makes sense. And then there's different moves I can make. And don't forget, all of you, we're in a scene now. Like the 2 of you as characters, me as aspect. We have moves. Now is when we can start playing moves and stuff, right? So moves are part of the scene. So, yeah. So I was thinking like maybe because there's different moves for the unaffiliated. There could be. I'm gonna say that there's. I'm gonna play a move that's called gather disgruntled residents and protest peaceful or violent, and I'm gonna say maybe there's gonna be a group of people who have shown up outside of the monitor's the monitor's office who are complaining because what are you doing? There's all these bunch of people are going missing. Like we don't like where is everybody now and like maybe one of them is a friend of Danielle's. Like now Danielle's missing too. Like and like this isn't just someone you can forget. So I'm gonna say a group of residents has started to protest. Maybe it's just a dozen people and are kind of banging down your doors with like little holographic images of their friends or family that are missing. And one of those is Danielle's maybe girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there I played a move of I think.
Nice.
Hopefully I did
Okay.
that right.
Yeah.
It sounds right.
Okay.
Which so now, like I'm gonna have to shift a little bit,
Okay.
and just like in private, I'm kind of giving her a hard time. But now that there's, we're walking by and now there are all of these people. Now I'm gonna have to shift a little bit and kind of defend my sister. Like she's doing everything she can. I'm worried about. I'm worried about him too. And I'll go up to that friend of Danielle's, and just say like, I noticed that she hasn't been, to the low bar for the last couple of days, and I was just telling my sister to make sure that they're looking for her.
So then, what move are you taking?
I think I'm just in a basic move, I would say.
Okay, so just say what you're doing. There's like a couple different options of basic moves.
So
There's take action.
I'm doing a basic move where I'm speaking openly and honestly with Danielle's sister.
Okay.
As part of the aspect.
Okay. Yeah, and since I'm playing the aspect, I would imagine that the sister is just, if you're asking, she didn't do it, nothing different than anything else. She went out, she went to your pathetic bar, and she came. She was supposed to come home, and she just didn't come home. And I don't see this one doing anything about it as she points over to your sister.
And then Nyx is just going to speak openly and honestly, a basic move. And she's going to say, I have every mode that I have monitoring looking to see if she pops back up on any of my reference points. But currently she's gone dark. She's in some part of the station that I can't view. And generally the residents should know there are a few like parts of the station that I just have zero access to. And she'll point and say, I'm watching it, waiting to see if she blips back on, but unless we can get in there, I can't view anything.
What question were you defining that we're trying to figure out the answer to with this one? Because major scenes usually have a question that we're trying to focus it around.
Good question.
Maybe just trying to gather information about the disappearances.
Well, maybe this should have been a read the station, because I was mostly just trying to like push the thought of people disappearing, like that threat.
Well, I think we're still doing it, so like we'll just let's treat it like a major scene since how we started. But like, what kind of question could we potentially answer? It's our first time playing, so we're kind of working through it. So what would be a question that you would want to get like that, considering what we've now established, that you would want to try to get an answer to? That's reasonable, that you could reasonably get now that the scene is you and your sister kind of being accosted by a group of protesters about missing people.
Maybe just discovering how many people are currently missing, like actually missing,
and like when they went missing, and some of that kind of information.
Okay.
So maybe I'll explore the scene and ask questions and take down names and like dates that they disappeared and how long they've been missing.
Okay. And like, and that calms some of them down, I would imagine, that like you're actually doing it. But there's others that are just mad, like I've already told you. And then there's others that are new. So like you're seeing that it's some of the same people who have been missing for like maybe 2 or 3 days. And there's others that have just recently gone missing. And those are like the ones that are fretful and fearful and whatnot. And there's an array of ages and like species too. So it's not just like all humans. It's not just all like kids or women or anything. It's a mix.
And actually, if you still wanted to try to play it as a week, you may still kind of be able to be like, oh, so that's resident number, blah, 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 blah. So you could kind of still play that angle a little bit when you're talking to them, or like you're not
Oh yeah, like
super,
rattle off their
super
like
empathic, but yeah,
yeah.
like you're kind of doing an investigation, but it's not really.
I mean, yeah, like if I was still trying to do a weak move, I basically my weak move is I discovered that the situation is a lot worse than I predicted.
Okay.
Oh,
I think that
Yeah.
that would make sense. So if you, do you want
Yeah.
to say that? Do you want to do
Yeah.
that? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, and so originally it was just 12 people that were here, but like once you start taking down names, like, oh, well, if you're taking down names, they're like, you'll see they'll turn and they'll call, come on over, and then you see curving around the corridor. There's like another 10, 12, 15 people start coming up, all of whom are missing like one or two, family members or coworkers or something like that. So it looked like just like a handful of maybe 6 or 7 people that might have gone missing. It's now 14, 15. You're like, okay, finally I'm done. But then, oh, now there's 20. Now there's 22. And so like there's, by the time you're done with it, what you thought was just like like a small grouping of people is like there's 24 people that have gone missing over the last 3 days.
Yeah.
yeah, no, we definitely know it's worse than we thought.
Okay. So do we feel like we've satisfactorily answered that question?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You get a token.
So yeah, so take one. You can take one of the tokens. I put up on the Foundry page. Like you can just grab them. That's all we're using Foundry for. So it's just moving the tokens around. Okay. So anybody have an idea for a scene now? So again, major scene pushing a plot forward. Weak scene just sort of developing your character a little bit. Usually just describing it, or read the station, which is seeing how different groups of people around are kind of handling it.
And she just did a major scene?
She just did a major scene.
Yeah, she just did
what was the question again?
a major week was what she did.
So a major it's not major week. It's I think you can do more than one move on a scene. So it's really just like she did a major scene, and then one of the moves that she took during the scene was weak, meaning she exposed herself to like, some sort of vulnerability, and she learned that she didn't have nearly as much information as she thought. Like she's the monitor, and I guess she wasn't monitoring something because all of a sudden there's a lot more people missing. So it makes her look bad, basically. So a weak move kind of like makes you look bad in some way. A strong move makes you look great, but it requires a token. And a basic move is just a basic move. So yeah. And a major scene usually answers a question of some kind. A minor scene is just like a quick description of something you're doing to develop your character. And read the station is just like how are other groups that aren't necessarily us reacting to the stuff that's happening on the station.
I have an idea for a scene with Coin, between Adelia and Coin.
Okay.
Coin, my friend, how are you doing today?
Doing fine as ever.
Glad to hear that. Did that shipment come in? Kind of waiting on that mushroom there.
I'm still looking for it. I've asked everywhere, but no one even knows if it exists.
I could really use that. Let me ask you this though. There's the brown one. It's not quite as rare as the black one. Do you think you might have that kind of sitting in storage?
We can grow that abundance. We have plenty.
You could actually get me some of that?
Yes, but what can you offer me?
I can always, was it galactic credits? Yeah, I've always got galactic credits
Home cooked meals.
to spend.
Now would be a good time probably to pick up the markets aspect if you wanted to do that, Ashley, since I did it last time. But because the market is when someone seeks a buyer, shops for something uncommon, or needs a job done, which is very much what's happening here. So if you want to go into it, and so you can see that on the bottom of the one page, there's a bunch of different moves. We also had the outside investor that's kind of involved in this that Long kind of came up with.
Yeah. I was thinking he could intrude upon their agreement as introduce an opportunistic or hustler with a predatory offer, and he actually has the black truffle oil that you're looking for, but it's at an absurd amount of money that he's trying to get from you.
Okay. Um, you're always paying me in coin. It's great and all, but how about some truce every now and then? What have you got going on?
Well, you don't want to deal with this bloke. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Now, I telling you, and he like opens up his jacket. I got the goods.
Oh.
I've got them. But unfortunately, for the speed of acquiring them, you'd have to pay me double of whatever this bloke's trying to get from you. But I doubt he'll even be able to get it to you within the near future. So, what will it be?
You know, I'm hearing some rumors that we've got a lot of soldiers coming for shore leave, and I really want to have some good stuff for them. Coin, you said you didn't even know it existed anywhere. So I'm trying to play the weak move of sell out one of your regulars to protect yourself. So I'm kind of trying to
Throwing me under the bus here?
Sorry?
Are you throwing me under the bus? Is what you're saying?
Yeah. Like you told me you told me you couldn't even find this stuff, and now he's got it like in his jacket pocket. What is that?
That could be anything. It could be just some dirty water. You can't know it's real.
That's a fair point. Gary, do you mind if I uncork and make sure this is the product I'm seeking?
He won't let you touch it, but he'll uncork it under your nose and give you a sniff before immediately putting it back in his pocket.
Okay.
Now, I know that I am a very young-looking, handsome man. He's not. But I wasn't born just yesterday. I'm not stupid. Now, this is the goods. This is the good stuff. If you really want to buy it, you know where to find me. And he'll turn and he'll leave.
Coin, I'm sorry. I got to get this. And so I'll kind of run after, and I will, how about a 10% off, maybe? I mean, you could have walked around with that in your jacket for a while, and, you know, it could have gone bad. So, I mean, I feel like taking it off your hands, I should get a little bit of a discount.
What type of scene are we doing?
Well, yeah, we got to make sure that we define what the question is at the start of the scene. So this was a major scene. Since you were doing multiple characters, but like, what was the question? And the question is usually like pushing the plot of the story forward. And since so much of the story has to do with us, like kind of dealing with the various threats that are coming up. So what's the question that you were trying to tackle here, Melissa?
So the question is whether I can find this ingredient, because I have an idea for kind of like a special event food, kind of having these soldiers from different places here. So I'm trying to kind of bring people together. And so kind of my question is like, can I find the ingredient that I need?
Yeah.
For this special.
I'd say you found it.
Yeah, it feels like you got the answer to that pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, these scenes don't have to be ridiculously long. Like they can be pretty straightforward like that.
Okay. So, and I sold out my kind of regular
token or what?
coin. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Who's next?
Nice.
Do you have any ideas, Long?
Yeah, I could follow up on the threat, right?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. So if you're doing a major scene, which is moving a plot forward, just define a question. So the examples in the book, for instance, could be like if it's a kinetic scene, like an action focused scene, it could be, can we fight our way to the bridge? If it's more of like a considered scene, it could be, can we convince soldiers to back down, or what lurks in the shadows of deck 7, right? And so like you frame the major scene that way. So we got to start with that, and then we start figuring out who goes in it. And then as the scene plays out, we can kind of figure out the aspect, or we can just throw an aspect in right off the bat. So what scene or what question for your scene would you like to explore?
How about, can we find these people that have gone missing?
Okay. Cool. And so then you choose 2 or more characters who are present. So of us.
We can do the monitor Nyx.
Okay. And then the other question is like kind of, do you have an idea on how to start the scene? So there's kind of two ways you can do it. Like if you know exactly how you want it to start, like where is it and what are you doing? Your character just makes a move. So you pick a move from your list and you go. But if you don't really know exactly how you want to start the scene, you can instead have another player like me or Melissa pick up an aspect that you think is going to make sense. So it could be like the station. That would probably be the most likely aspect for this one. And then one of us can make a move to start the scene, and then you just react to that. So that's like kind of the two ways that a major scene sort of begins.
Okay. I'll set it up where clients are coming back to me and saying they aren't receiving their goods, and then I'll like investigate on that to see that my carriers or my vendors aren't getting the product out because they've gone missing as well.
Okay.
And then I'll just speak with Nyx to see what kind of, if she's implemented any sort of system or investigation to track these people down.
Because I'm not like the police or anything, to clarify.
Like monitoring, right? So,
I just kind of like watch and I take reports and like tell other people about it. At least that's how I'm taking it. Unless it is like, I don't know.
I think it's whatever you want it to be. It's sort of defining how it works, however it fits in the story, and however it works based upon the way you saw it.
Okay.
So what are you playing again, Long? What's your
the source?
Okay. So if you look on the source, on the right-hand side, you see like there's basic moves, strong moves, and weak moves. So basically, she's the town gossip, yeah. So you, during a scene, everyone just starts taking moves. So you're beginning. So what's a move that you would want to do? So the basic move, since you don't have any tokens yet, you would either be doing a basic move
Just
or a weak
speak openly
move.
and honestly, I guess.
Okay.
Like I'm losing clients; they're not coming back to me anymore.
Okay. I mean, I've taken note that these people are missing. They're in the dark zone. I mean, they haven't died. I get a notification when people die. Nobody's dead yet. They haven't popped up on any of my cameras. Like I don't. They're in the dark zone.
The dark zone. I know some dark places, but
No, I mean, they're places where I have zero access to the systems. Like, I can't view anything in there. None of my cameras are gonna go in there. It's sealed off. It's parts of the ship. There's a few parts of the ship where we haven't explored yet. I don't know. I don't know where this accent came from, Jeff. God damn it.
What? I had nothing to do with it.
This is one of your accents you've done before.
Everybody just got a New York accent. It's easy.
I don't know. I was thinking about
No.
Delta Green.
I don't know why.
You
It's
know,
Friday.
I don't know why.
I'm gonna pick up the station since you're talking about or interacting with stuff or you're
Yeah.
seeking the strange. And so, are we in the monitor's tower right now?
Yes.
Okay, and your tower, like it kind of like you said, it's sort of high up in like overlooking like a promenade area where there's like lots of different folks and everything.
Yeah.
And you have direct access to Mother, right?
Yes.
Okay. You suddenly hear, like Mother say, Nyx, incoming message from unknown source. And you go over and you can see that there is this text message. It's like it's a big text message, and all of the symbols, it's like hieroglyphics. It just doesn't make sense to you. And Mother's like trying to translate, efforting. And it's like trying to figure out a way to like put it through the universal translator. And when it does, you get a message that says, when darkness comes, the chosen will return. Something like that.
Okay.
And so I'm picking the aspect move, broadcast a message from an ancient entity.
I like it. Nyx is confused. I
Does-
am. Go ahead.
I was just saying, does Mother usually send you these messages?
I mean, Mother and I, we talk all the time, but I talk to Mother more than I talk to my own mother, if I'm being honest. Um, which, but this is a little bit. This is new. Mother, who can we track down the sender of this message? Is that a possibility?
Nix, the message is coming from inside the station.
Kayla's house on the other. Yeah.
The specific terminal used to send the message is unknown.
All right. Thank you, Mother. I am.
Have you checked the children?
I don't have children, thank God. Yeah, let's see. I am going to spend my token to dispatch a capable agent under my command to try and get into like gain access to the dead zones. Like either bust open a door, something to that extent.
Okay. All right. So is
Can
that?
I do that on his turn or no?
I mean, you both. The idea is that you guys are in the scene. You're both throwing out moves, right? Like
Yeah.
say you're doing stuff, right? And so just make sure we're being fair about like taking turns and things like that, so everyone's getting a chance. So I did my move where I did a broadcast entity. So Long started by doing like the, asking questions and stuff. I followed with a broadcast message from an ancient entity, and now you're dispatching somebody. So that's a move. So Long, would you say you're satisfied with the answer that she's sending somebody to go look for them, or some kind of the access the darkness, or do you want to do you think that the scene needs to continue until you get some more information?
Let's see. We can wait it out. I think that's fine. There's someone actively going to it.
Okay. All right. So then I figured let's just do the next scene, which I feel like it's set up for me to be the one that's sent out. So I think I'll do a major scene with Turkey, and obviously Yawa will be there. I don't think any of you would be there, though. I don't think it really makes sense for your characters to be there, since the two of you were in the monitoring station. You just sort of dispatched me.
Unless we're on comms with you, maybe.
That would,
maybe we're not physically there, but like.
So yeah, I'm probably.
I view you on my video camera.
I would probably be on comms, and I'll say that I'm, like, me and Yao are there. We're crawling through a corridor, so Melissa, you can look for an aspect. I guess the station itself probably makes like, so if you want to take over that. And so the specific setup is like I'm suddenly we're back. Like imagine the camera, like if we're doing this as a movie, we're back in that same vent, that the very first scene where we were first introduced to Turkey and Yawa, where the rat suddenly came pouring out from behind the vent. And so there they are, kind of crawling, pushing like their toolboxes forward, crawling, push, and like all Turkey is doing is pushing, crawl into the vent and turn the damn fan back on. Crawl into the vent and turn the fan off. Crawl into the vent and turn the fan on. These freaking people, I tell you, you don't want to work here. It's just terrible. So that's what I'll be doing when I'm crawling through there. So what I'm doing is I'm speaking openly and honestly with somebody. And so I'm speaking it with Yawa. We could say the comms are on while I'm doing this, because Turkey doesn't give no shit. Like, these people think, what do any of them actually really do? Not a goddamn thing. The one dude just wanders around with his damn pants filled with coins. Doesn't even spend them. I don't know why the hell he's got coins in his pants all the time. Doesn't do nothing. The other one, she's just a gossip hound. But no, if something needs to get done, guess who's got to do it? It's Turkey. And soon, y'all, was going to be you. And so that's what you guys hear over the comms, because he doesn't care if you hear it.
And so as the station, what's going to happen is Turkey is going to be kind of crawling through the vents, crawling through the vents, crawling through the vents, retracing the steps of where he was to get back to the fan. And there is no fan.
There's no
That
fan.
area is now different. You just see sort of additional junctions and turns in that area of the vent. So I'm playing the aspect move dramatically reshapes the physical environment.
Okay. Okay.
So you swear you know
Okay.
exactly where it was, where the rats were, where the fan was.
All right. And so what do I see instead?
You just see an additional turn off in the vent.
Okay.
So you know where the fan was, and it was just a straight and a fan and a
All right.
straight, and now there's a turn.
I'm going to play a weak move. I'm going to play let your curiosity get the better of you and pay a severe price. So I'm going to bitch and moan. You guys hear, and all of a sudden I stop and I'm like, what in the Sam Hill? Y'all, you saying we were here like this morning, right? Yeah, I was here. Yeah. Okay. Now I know the station can play some tricks on you, but I ain't ever seen it quite move things around. Why don't you stay here? You're young, beautiful, you got a bright future. I'm gonna go take a reconnoiter. And so he's gonna start crawling down this other turnoff. So that's his weak move. So what does he find? Or who wants to pick up something here? So everyone's kind of in this scene because Nyx, you're on comms.
Yeah.
Coin, you're on comms, and then Melissa, you're playing the aspect. So everyone's kind of here.
I am going to say that you find an outfit of clothing.
Okay, what does it look
It's
like?
just kind of crumpled there. I'm going to say it's something that you've seen Danielle wearing, sort of a fairly common kind of flowy skirt, plain top kind of thing she always wears.
I'm going to basic move, explore the scene, and ask questions. And so I'm going to look around for more clothes. Going to get on the comms. Going to get on hey Nyx, that Danielle woman, the drunkard. Is Coin with you still?
Yeah.
Coin. What? She usually wears and then he'll describe what you just described. The clothing is that sounds like that's what Danielle was wearing the other day, right?
Oh, you mean the faux fox scarf?
You are a poet with words. Ever though you are, sir.
Nyx is like on the other side, and she's like, "Mother, can you please pull up video footage of Low Bar?" Rattles off the date, the time, and find a picture, and then suddenly she shoots off a picture to your comm system or something, verifying.
Okay. And it's like probably coming in all staticky and such, and it's not quite working out. I'm seeing all glitches, but I do kind of compare it. And so I'm going to ask a couple questions. So Melissa, aspect. So I'm going to ask questions of you. Do I find any other clothes out here, and if I keep going, I'm going to keep going, and I'm just curious if I find anything else down here.
I'm going to take the suggestion from chat that when you look at these clothes, you're going to see black fungus growing on them.
Yeah,
but you probably won't know what the purpose is, but you'll see it.
Dang, this girl needs to take a shower every now and then. I know they're not usually working half the time, but he says to himself. Okay.
I'm going to say about 8 feet ahead of you, you're going to find like a sandal.
Okay. What's the severe price I pay? Because I'm still waiting for that severe price for my weak move of turning down here. So we all can get in on this, by the way. This isn't something that just Melissa has to say. We can all what happens to me is like something obviously should be happening to me.
Maybe you inhale some of that black fungus.
Yeah.
But
like you pick it up
okay.
and you're looking at it just to verify, trying to see if there's anything like in the pockets or something.
Okay.
And as you reach into like a pocket to pull out like her wallet or something, just like something bursts and like a
and just coughs over and over again. It's like spores come up or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh god, that is some foul shit. Oh god, it's like menthols. Oh, it's no good. I don't like it. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. I kind of want to keep going. So
What's your question?
So the question I'm trying to figure out is like, I think the original question was going to be like, are there people down in this dark? Like, are there people down in this dark area, or did the message come from this kind of dark area? Like, is what I'm trying to figure out. And so I think I'm going to take another weak move and just let the curiosity get the better of me and continue down this path despite getting all this stuff inhaled.
So you're going to see a sandal, and then you're going to see something that looks like a work boot. And then as you keep going, you're going to see something that looks more like kind of like a workman's jumper.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that you recognize that name.
Okay.
As
Somebody
someone that you know.
And
Someone
it's
I
getting
work with,
dimmer
probably.
the deeper you go in.
And maybe it's just like I can just see that there's more clothes. Like at this point, I think it's clear the clothes have been established. We can see that there's a bunch of clothes down here. So what's the severe price I pay? Like what?
Oh, for continuing to go even further?
Yeah.
You turn around.
I'm going to say that.
Oh, I think I know where Ashley's going with this. Go ahead, Ashley.
Go ahead.
You turn around to head back down the hallway, and it's not there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So I get down. I'm like, hey, yeah, I found some more clothes. Yeah, looks like we got Scotty Magoo. Yep. Yeah, he's got these dirty drawers. And hey, y'all, well, you gotta come see. Wait. Yep. And so he's turning around and he sees where the vent he just came out and dropped down into a room with. The vent is gone. Right? And then he turns around back to the room where he just was, and he was just looking at these piles of clothes, and all the clothes are now gone too. And so we'll say that's the end of that scene.
He's still trapped.
And I'm still trapped.
Okay, I
But
love it.
if
That's the consequences. You're still trapped.
If anybody can find their way out here, it's old Turkey. Old Turkey.
He can
All right.
sniff out alcohol from anywhere.
So new round. Yeah, well, just sprinkle some bourbon on the ground. I'll find it.
Just leave me a puddle.
Just give me that bourbon. Okay, so new round. Who's got a scene that they want to do? Again, major, minor, or read the station. We've been focusing pretty heavily on the people disappearing threat, but don't forget that we also have the soldiers, and we've got the prospectors as well. And if we can tie them together in some way, that would be cool. So maybe the prospectors and soldiers are kind of tied together in some way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So who's got an idea?
I have an idea for a relatively short scene. I am going to be at I'm going to be at the low bar, and I want to I'm going to do a read the station. So I've heard that there are the two different groups of soldiers that are here on shore leave, and I want to kind of read the station and see, like, how's it going? Like, how is it going having both of them? Are they behaving? Are they not behaving? What's up?
Okay, so let's go over I'm just going to go from the rules so that everyone kind of knows. So reading the station is when you portray different groups' attitudes and feelings concerning a particular issue. So you have to decide on the topic under discussion, and you should frame it around either a question or a statement, right? So the example from the book, should we accept deserters as refugees? That could be a question. Or a statement could be, the deserters will bring war upon us, all right? So what's your topic, Melissa?
So the topic is, we've got these additional soldiers here from both sides. Are they staying out of each other's way, or are we having some issues?
Okay, got it. So then it says share your views. Then starting on your left, okay, so left would be Ashley from you. Each player takes turns weighing in on the topic. You can speak as a class of residents, like the smugglers or an established group like the Red Sun Galactic. You give a sentence describing how the group feels about the issue, and the views shared are always opinions and beliefs, not facts. And so then once everyone has weighed in, including Melissa, including you, since you started this, the discussion's over. We do not need to settle on a unified position. It says, draw upon what you've learned to color your actions and inspire your questions in subsequent scenes. So starting with Ashley then, because she's on Melissa's left technically, pick a group of people on the station. It could just be a regular class of people, and how what do they know basically about how well the two different soldier groups have been hanging in just one sentence brief.
Mine's gonna be just like the neighbor, like just like the regular, like the home housing district, I guess.
Okay. Residential
And
area. Okay.
yeah, and just a bunch of mothers, and they're all complaining because they're after they visit the bar and stuff, they get really rowdy and they've been getting into fist fights, so they don't appreciate them being allowed to be on the station.
Okay. I like it. I think then it comes to me afterwards if we're just kind of going around.
Yeah.
And so then I'll say I'll represent like the kind of the maintenance staff, right? Maintenance crew, we'll say that they have been called multiple times to certain places where both the soldiers have congregated to repair broken things, and it seemed pretty clear that there is a scuffle that happened, and so that's what the maintenance crew saw. Long, you pick a group of people, and then how can they contribute to this?
Just do like random merchants that sell things in the street,
Okay.
and they'll be like, no one's coming out anymore. The streets aren't safe with these soldiers walking around.
Nice, I like it. Okay, perfect. And then Melissa, last.
So basically, I'm going to kind of be polling the folks that I work with in the bar. So in my restaurant, kind of all the different shifts, and what are they saying? And everybody's saying like they're having to like kick people out, and kind of things are almost going to blows. So it's not a good situation at the moment.
Nice. Okay. Beautiful.
So I've effectively read the station and gathered perspectives.
And that's how you do that. Okay. Ashley, Long, either of you have an idea for a scene?
Yeah. You can, let's see. Want to somehow push these prospects coming in to discover this asteroid. So it has to be a question for major scene, right?
Yes. Question for a major scene. And you can include other characters if you like, and you can identify an aspect to start, or we can just pick an aspect that makes sense as the scene plays out.
Maybe the war, this little civil war, has something to do with the asteroid belt as well. Could just tie it together.
Okay. All right, so we got that. And is there anybody else in the scene with you?
Yeah, we can talk with Adelia.
Okay. Play a move.
Let's see. Play a move.
I'll just say when I see you approaching, I'm kind of gonna be looking away a little bit because I kind of feel bad about our last interaction. And so when you first come up, like I'm gonna start talking even before you do, and just be like, "Sorry about earlier."
I already know what you're gonna say. I'm just gonna come out and admit it. I can't get that truffle. It's not within my ability. So that's a weak move where I should admit I can't get it.
Okay. Nice.
Well, you should have just said that from the beginning. I would have had it like a day ago. Like, what? Anyway, you came to see me. What's up?
Yeah, all the merchants have been talking. Have you noticed these soldiers and uh, what are they fighting about?
I mean, they're soldiers. Like, this is what they get paid to do. And, like, I don't know who planned for them both to, like, be on shore leave at the same time, but, like, this is a stupid idea. I mean, this is literally what they get paid for all the time is to fight with each other. So, like, why would you think putting them in a confined space is a good idea?
I am going to play an aspect move.
Interstellar war.
Interstellar War. Where is this conversation taking place? I actually really like the aspects.
Oh, the low bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Third place.
You're going to see the door bursts open into the low bar. And stumbling into the bar is a soldier wearing one of the two colors. What's the two colors? Because we had like different colors. We had color coordinated people for the Hatfields and McCoys. What were they? What were they called again? The Copyards and the McCraws.
The Capyards and
Cap
the
yards.
Macraws.
This is going to be a McCraw because I'm going to remember that one more easily. This is a McCraw, and they're wearing like you know the customary red uniform of the McCraws, and they stumble in, and you have to do a double take at first because you're used to seeing red on them, but you're not used to seeing red dripping from them, as their face is just kind of looks like it's been bashed in a bit. Their hand is drenched in blood and it's dripping onto the ground, and he's help me, they're gonna come get me, help me, you gotta hide me. And you look out the window of your low bar, and you see that there is a mob of the other color of soldiers, which
I'm gonna say they're maroon. Like, it's not that different, but sorry.
You're killing me. You're killing. What about people who are colorblind? They're never going to be able to work that out. You're going to see the other group's soldiers are coming up, and they got like weapons and stuff, and it's like a mob, and they're searching, like they're calling out, and he's coming up to the two of you. He's like, please help me, please. And so this is introduce a soldier in dire need of assistance, but also kind of forcing you to take a side, but definitely introduce a soldier in dire need of assistance.
At this point, I'll just morph into some sort of large bird-like species so he can hide in like my feathers.
I'm sorry.
What?
Could you say that again?
I just morph into a bird-like species so he can hide in my feathers.
Like a really big one, apparently.
Yeah, big enough to hide him.
It sounds like a strong move. You look like a badass here. So that sounds like right.
Okay, wait.
No, I think that makes sense. That sounds like a strong move. Like you have a coin, you have a token.
Yeah, okay. If I just rip it out.
Yeah, and so suddenly long bursts into a giant, and so
Giant bird.
What are you doing?
Just hang out here for now. They won't find you.
And so he comes in and he kind of, thank you, and he hides like kind of in your giant ruffled feathers. Door busts open. In walks the Maroon 5. I got that from 12 to Twitch in chat. And so there's 5 dudes in maroon walking. Men, women, like cyborg robot stuff. And they're like, where is he? We know he's some. Come in here. And they're like pushing around. Like
Welcome in, everyone. Thank you for your service. Can I get you something?
You can get me that son of a bitch McCraw who came in here. We saw him. We gotta finish the job. The only good McCraw is a dead McCraw.
I don't see any Macraws in here.
Can I activate another aspect?
Yeah, sure. What do you got?
The station itself.
Okay, what you thinking?
Ooh.
So the aspect move that I'm going to have is because things are getting violent, that it's going to trigger an ominous countdown.
Okay.
And so the lights are forcibly dimmed by Mother inside the establishment. Like, that's like their first warning. It's like a boom. And then they come back on. And then you just hear Mother go, if violence has not ceased within the next 5 seconds, extreme measures will be taken. 5.
And they look around and they start backing out like,
4.
we won't forget this. We know which side that you sided with. It was the other side.
3.
We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you. We're gonna burn this bar to the ground. And then they back out and the door closes.
Thank you for your service.
Jesus. Okay. What was the question, by the way, for this scene? We always forget that.
Yeah.
Always
Let's
forget
get
that.
way
The
to
most
character.
important thing.
It was
Yeah.
supposed to be what are they fighting over?
Okay.
You can talk to the guy that you have now.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
He's still
true.
there.
Let's pull nuts. Looks like they're away for now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. You're a good bird. You're
Notice more
pretty
back to
bird.
my usual form.
He's still crouching.
They're gonna. They're gonna. Do you want a seat or something?
I'm fine here, but what are they after you for? What are you guys even fighting?
Because I'm a macaw, and they're a cap yard. Whatever I don't even know what the fuck their name is. It's so dumb. That's why. No, we're fighting. You don't know why they're fighting? Resources, man. Resources. There's an asteroid field out there. It's just rich with really important mineral stuff, hydrogen stuff. And we're
You can
fighting
make
it.
the paste around the. You can make the paste with it.
Paste. Oh, that stuff. That stuff tastes like. Well, it tastes like paste. But I guess if it gets the job done. But yeah, they say it's theirs. We say it's ours. I don't know. And you people are just sitting off here, right on the outskirts of the asteroid, thinking you can just be neutral this whole time. The war is coming for you too, bub. And like blood's flying off his hand as he points at you.
Probably get that stitched up.
Okay,
Dead McCraw.
So do you feel like you've got an answer to this question? They're fighting over the resources in the asteroid field that the prospectors have discovered as well. So tying it all together. Okay, cool.
I did a weak move there where I tried to use words when action was required.
Okay. Is that why you kept saying thank you
Yes.
for your service?
Yes, that's why I was doing that. Yep.
Oh God.
I'm so confused. I was like, I thought we were neutral. What?
Yeah, you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Ashley, do you have an idea? It's me and you. I think the two of them have both gone.
Oh no, I got excited and distracted.
All right, I have a simple one. I have a simple
okay.
one if you want to keep thinking. I'm going to do a minor scene because my guy is wandering these dark corridors. And so you're going to see he's wandering around. Hey, Seth. That's weird. I don't know why I didn't get that. Yeah, we're playing a game called Orbital tonight. It's like a narrative it's a narrative game, kind of build up a space station, and like a neutral space station amidst an interstellar war, and we're dealing with a variety of consequences and stuff. It's pretty fun. First time playing it. I'll drop a link if you want to take a look at any of the various places you can find it on the web. Okay, so my scene. You guys find Wild Turkey. Camera zooms in, and it's just a dark corridor, and then we suddenly see a light, this small, slightly blue light, as he's kind of holding up like one of his tools, or he's holding up like his communication device, kind of like you would hold up a phone to get the ambient light as he's trying to navigate what has become this crazy circuitous tunnel. And it's constantly turning back and forth on him. He's finding clothes, and he picks them up and he kind of puts them in, and then he'll kind of look inside the bag, and like the clothes will still be there, and he's like, okay, yeah, I knew these things were real. And so you can tell he's been here a while, and like he's frequently he's like, Yawa, hey Yawa, and like Yawa never responds, and he's like, Nix, Corn, anybody, can anybody hear me? And like no one's responding, so he's just wandering this dark corridor all by himself. And then finally he sees another light up in front, and he hops down off this service corridor, and he is in like an octagonal room that looks completely unlike any other room that we see in the station. The station that we have elsewhere is like kind of rusted and old, and like there's a lot of kind of a mishmash of like our tech and like old tech. Here it's just all old tech, and it's just consoles that are made of some kind of almost shiny plastic. And on one of the walls he sees a mural. He sees this image like a flicker into existence, and there's like this dark alien kind of looking forest, and like there's a shadowy silhouette that pops up, and as he's watching, the shadowy silhouette just sort of slowly comes flickering into existence, and it's him, but as like a younger him.
Mm-hmm.
And the the arm of this figure, this hologram, will suddenly point in the direction of a like this split of corridors. There's one or two ways you could go out of this octagonal room, and the lights of that corridor suddenly turn on. And so he walks down the lit corridor at that point, and that's the end of, I think, his scene.
I like it.
Yeah.
He's good.
Ground control
It's
to major
fancy.
turkey. Control to ground turkey. Major control to ground turkey. All right. Ashley, I think you're up.
Yeah, I'm gonna do another minor scene. Where Nyx is speaking openly and honestly with like whatever our equivalent is of like security systems. And like our head of security or whatever that would be. Because I see Nyx as more of like the crazy cuckoo lady who like observes our life support systems to make sure nothing goes down.
Right.
And like the call center woman, like I answer calls and stuff and I direct traffic, but I don't really do much else myself.
She's not the patrol woman.
Yeah, so she goes down and she's basically just giving reports of like things that the soldiers have been doing, grievances from the public, actions that she recommends be taken, and like brings up the fact that the people are trying to get them off the station, like they don't want them here. So yeah.
Proper authorities have been informed.
And yeah, I'd say that's it for my
Okay.
minor scene.
All right. New round. So thus far we have found clothes of people who have gone missing in a dark corridor. That's one of the threats, the people having gone missing. We know that the asteroid field is the source of the major conflict between these two soldier groups that are staying on the station. Okay. So, who's got something they want to do?
I have an idea. I might need some help with it, but I have some tokens to spend. And I want to introduce an old adversary with a formidable skill set. So I'm trying to kind of bring someone in that's going to kind of break this focus on the ore. Because it seems like the soldiers are fighting over it as if they think that they can get involved with it. But I kind of want to do some follow-up with the manifest that I had found earlier.
So we're doing a major scene.
Doing a major scene.
What's your question?
My question is, can I diffuse some of these soldiers' fights by showing them what's actually going on with this ore and who's controlling it? Kind of like who's taking control of that issue. So like
okay. Or more
like a,
can you just like, it could intimidate be a different thing? Like maybe you're just trying to intimidate them.
What? Not trying to.
Because what are you trying to say? You wanted to bring somebody else in
on the like kind of like the business side of like
that's popcore. If you want to bring those in.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Popcore. Okay. So I will, so I will chat with somebody who works for Popcore, and I'll actually say that maybe that was the manifest that I found was actually like a Popcore manifest. So maybe I will have a chat with somebody who works with Popcore to see if I can get some more information about what's going on with that ore.
Okay. Yeah.
And we'll try that.
Yeah. What was your question again? Or were you like?
So,
Because if it's major scene, it's a question, right?
right. Trying to get some answers about like who's staking claim to the ore, maybe.
Or who actually owns it, or it has rights to it or something.
Yeah.
Well, we know from a previous scene that both sides of the war are staking claim to it. Like they both claim it to be theirs. So what's the follow-up question to that you could potentially get an answer to?
Because what I'm trying to bring the two of them together against the third party, that like the corporation that's kind of trying to stake claim over it.
Okay, so you're trying to unify the two soldiers against a corporation.
Yeah.
So what's the question that you can ask for that?
So my question is kind of getting confirmation that Popcore is actually staking claim to it, and they think their claims supersede the claims of either of the warring factions.
So is that a question or a statement? Like I feel like you're just
You could do it. You could do a statement.
Yeah, getting confirmation for the question. I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that you're starting the scene though already with your answer in mind, so it doesn't really feel like a question. It just feels like you're just established in that as sort of what the fiction is, which is fine. That can be the fictions, but like, what's the thing that you're starting the scene that you, Melissa, don't know yet, and that we sort of figure out over the course of the scene together? Because I think that's the idea of like these questions is like start the scene not necessarily knowing what the answer is, and as we start doing moves with aspects and characters, we figure out the scene from the improv, right? Or figure out the answer from the improv. But it seems like you want this answer, so just make that the case and then ask a different question.
Give me like, will the soldiers leave or be non-hostile if this ore is claimed properly or something like that?
It could be just can I unite the two sides against the corporation? That could just be the answer, or the question, excuse me.
Can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or even maybe the question could be like, would they be willing to come and talk to them and tell them, like, we're staking a claim, like, see if they're willing to.
Oh, like confront them.
Yeah.
I lost that now. Like, what is it now? Like, I feel like that muddies it, but like, what is the thing that you wanted?
Would someone from the company be willing to talk to these soldiers and explain to them?
Oh, okay. So the other way, trying to get the corporation to get the soldiers to back off. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So where is the scene and who's in it with you?
So the portion of the station where Popcore has their kind of headquarters. Which I think you missed that Popcore has an exclamation mark after it, and I just think that's funny that that's the name of the corporation with an exclamation mark. So I'm at Popcore headquarters, chatting with, like, there's someone that I knew that works for Popcore.
Okay, what's their name?
I will say the person that works for Popcore is...
Hey, Adelia, long time no see. It's me, Barry.
Hey,
Not long.
It's been too long, Barry. And so I'll kind of pull out the manifest that I found in my bar in my opening scene. Say, like, you guys really shouldn't be leaving this kind of stuff out around,
Oh, we're passing those out a bit, but it just gets lost here and there.
So you realize that we've got soldiers that are literally tearing the station apart because they each think that they've got a claim to this ore.
Yeah, those Mac Wax Cap Yaps, whatever they are, they just keep fighting with each other. We're trying to get them to stop, so we just claim to ourselves.
I mean, how hard are you trying? Like, you're
Well, they're just brutes. If we could pay a certain amount, they're sure to back off anytime now.
that could be an option, or maybe somebody could go chat with them. I mean, they keep hanging out my bar and they're like tearing stuff up, and they think they've got a right to this, and they're putting all this energy in, and they don't even know.
Yeah, they're probably just looking for a reason to fight. I mean, they're soldiers. That's what they do. But once we buy them out, both sides, they'll be in your bars partying like nothing's happened.
That would be great. Is somebody willing to go hand some cash out?
We've got some big deals in the making. Just checking out the prospects of the markets here. Once we get these deals closed out, then this war can be gone.
Well, I mean, not the whole thing. They'll find other stuff to fight about. But I mean, how long do we need to wait for? They're gonna like end of the day. You can have this done, or are we waiting around for another
Maybe
day?
give us a couple days at most, but we'll to close this deal out soon.
All right. Can you can make it one day? That'd be great. But at least an end in sight is good. Work your magic, Barry.
You got it.
Question answered. We're
Okay.
We're gonna pay them off so they stop fighting.
Okay. So that was the first of round. That's the new round, right? So we've got
Yeah.
anyone else have something they want to try to do?
I will let somebody else go.
Well played. You got something long?
Nice.
I got an idea. If no one has anything else, I'll do a major scene.
Okay.
And the question I want to have answered. Is there a threat in the dark sector of the station? That's the question. Okay.
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 And I'll have Nyx be part of the scene eventually as the comms will come back and they'll come back on. And so I think what I'll do is I'll start the scene with a basic move, explore the scene and ask questions. And so I am following what effectively amounts to a lighted path. And I've been doing this for a little while, and I hop down into a new octagonal intersection, and I'll see another lighted path, and then I'll go down that path, and then a different one, and then I'll go up some ladder, and then I'll go down a ladder, and I'm just following this lighted path until it's been hours. Now I'm just huffing and puffing, and I've finished my pack of cigarettes that I always carry with me, and so I'm really pissed off now. I haven't had anything to drink in a while. Still can't get Yawa on the scene. And then I suddenly hear the flickering of the radio, and I hop down off a ladder, kick open a door, and I see a large room with a big holographic image in the center being projected from something coming down from the ceiling. There's like dry ice type fogginess on the ground, and the entire room is filled with the missing people, and they're all like looking up at this holographic image. Anytime anyone wants to take the aspect, by the way, now would be a good time to do it. Actually, you can't, unfortunately, because I've already said you're in it, but
I have a good one.
But somebody else should be taking the aspect at this
I've been
point.
taking a look at them.
The Lambit strand.
You can absolutely go with an unused one. So you can do the Lambit strand. You can also do the station. Makes sense too. So it's up to you. So at this point, I walk into this room and I see all of this going on. That's my move. I explored and I'm asking a question. And so the question I'm asking is, what are these people doing in this room with this holographic image? And what is this holographic? Like, what are they doing? What the hell's going on in here? Everyone can contribute to this, by the way.
You just call a Lambit strand aspect, or what do you?
That is one of the aspects. It's the
Yeah,
last one.
it's the last one. I did my basic move. My basic move was I explored the scene and I asked a question. I set up some stuff, and now I want to know from everybody here. Like this is like something for all of us to figure out together. Whether we're just talking it out, or whether you're using a specific move from your play kit. Because Ashley, you're suddenly starting to kick in, and you're hearing me talk every now and then, and it's breaking up, but you can kind of hear me. Long using the aspect. Melissa, you can probably grab the station aspect. I kind of just want to know what the hell's going on.
I am gonna play a weak move because I'm flickering in, but like I'm not really like there yet, and I'm showing the limits of my power in the real world. I don't have video access to you, and I barely have comms access to you, and I can't find you on any of my maps, so I can't help direct you on how to get back.
Okay.
Out of.
So I hear you pop up, and I'll just be like, Nix, can you get me the hell? I've been wandering for hours. I got a room filled of people staring up at a fucking hologram right now. I don't know if they see me yet. Get me the fuck out of here.
I can't see you. You're not on any of my maps. I'm mother, can you please try and get access to Quadrant? And she like rattles off some numbers, and you just hear her frantically in the background trying to find you.
Long or Melissa, you want to throw something in on this?
So I'm looking through the ancient subsystems for the station, and you see kind of, you said all of the people were kind of looking up.
Mm-hmm.
What you're going to see kind of around them is this. It looks like you see something walking, and then it looks like you see something floating, and kind of as you follow it, you realize that it's a cloud of nanites.
Oh shit.
That
Nix, we got some fucking nanites. This isn't just a hologram. There's something fucking physical down here. It ain't just fucking software.
Dude, I don't have any nanites in my. Oh, these must be old. Oh no.
So what else, Melissa?
And so I'm going to combo a couple of these. So what you're going to see the cloud of nanites doing is as it kind of goes around the individuals that are there, any electronics that they have, you see it kind of reforms and takes the electronics. And you see at the far end of the room, there's this pyre that just has all electronics on it.
So they're burning electronics? What?
Mm-hmm. It's one of the ancient subsystems.
Okay.
There's a pyre of discarded electronics. We must keep alight.
Okay.
There's a fucking pyre of electronics in here. And he's just like constantly like whispering into it.
And they're all the ones that are laying on the ground. They've got that fungus.
Oh god.
That you breathed in.
Oh fuck. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and do a weak move. And I'm going to let the curiosity get the better of me or whatever and pay a severe price or whatever. And I'm going to pull out the chunk of fungus that I found. I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to look at it. And as I'm watching it, now that I have a little bit of light, I see that it starts to break down as there's nanites swarming all around it at that point. I'm like, oh, fuck! And I'm going to throw it out and I scream and suddenly everyone can freaking hear me. And they all turn to look. Whoosh! The whole group kind of turns and there's old wild turkey.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I'm going to spend my token now to play a strong move that I got from showing the limits of my power. I'm going to manipulate subsystems to assist you in getting out. So I freaked out. Mother and I were desperately digging away to find you. And suddenly, behind one of the walls that's kind of like covered in more of this like gross whatever fungus, you see just a small hatch just open. And you hear Nyx, and she's like, I found a hatch in, sub-compartment, blah.
Gotcha, you're a fucking wizard. Just starting to run, like, they're fucking chasing me.
And I shut it behind you as soon as you're through.
And, like, they're still pounding on it, and I can see, like, they're trying to, like, and it's kind of coming up, and, like, maybe it's, like, sort of shaking a little bit. They're trying to rip it, and I hear, like, footsteps as they're moving around, like, fuck, they're gonna find me. They're gonna fucking find me. Why were they burning electronics? What the fuck is going on in here? So I'm just like moving.
Yeah. And she's just like before leading you with lights and open hatches and stuff.
Okay. And so I feel like it's just gonna be a series of like a long like chase scene where it's just like suddenly I'll like wander around one corridor and there'll be like a group of them that'll just appear in the freaking intersection, like, whoa, and I'll turn and run the other way, and I'll see them again, like, and I'll run somewhere, climb up a fucking ladder. Like, meanwhile, like all these doors are opening up. I'm like, I need a new exit, and then finally I'll go ahead and spend a token as well, so I can burst out of a maintenance tunnel in a flurry of steam and tenacity, as like I'm like, yeah. I fucking recognize where I am, and I'm just gonna pull out like this big old spanner, and I'm just gonna whack right against like the interior of a wall and just burst a panel down and stumble right down into the alleyway behind the low bar. And like I'm like, Coin, come on, help me put this back up. As Coin, when you look, you see that there's this whole swarm of people that are now coming down the path and trying to like come at me, and they're like, they look all fucked up, right? They've got like nanites swarming around and under their skins, and we're just like holding up and bringing like barrels and crates to like barricade. And I think we answered our question in that they are dangerous. Okay, there's my scene.
Oh
boy.
I'm going to, for us, I'm going to pull back and we're going to do a read the station. So the topic that I want to be is, so after you came out, your story gets around that the people who've gone missing are fucked up. Like, we don't know what's wrong with them. So my question is, what should we do with the people who are infected? Because that's been the new kind of like rumor that's gone around the station, is that the people who disappeared are now infected, and we have an idea of where they are, but they're still kind of roaming more free than people are comfortable with. So Jeff, you're on my left.
Okay.
Who are you representing, and how do they feel?
Okay. So I think I'll represent the maintenance crew again. And when news of the nanites gets out, like this is like a thing, because I'm sure Turkey probably shared this. The maintenance crew is like terrified, because I feel like nanites might have like a reputation as just if they get into modern systems, we don't understand the tech, like we can't fix them. They have a mind of their own, and they're just going to override all of our systems until we're at their mercy and can't do anything. So they're like, let's figure out a way to put the bulkheads up and just carve that entire half of the station off. We don't want anything to do with it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, people and all. That's like their viewpoint.
So I will represent the scientific community, for what it's worth, here on the ship, who's going to say that this is absolutely an opportunity to explore different technologies, and we should find the individuals, quarantine them, study them, learn everything that we can, and we absolutely should not destroy that whole section of the ship or those people.
I'll represent the families that are with people that have gone missing. And they'll just be like worried about their brothers and sisters and fathers. Like, what's gonna happen to them? Are they gonna come back safe?
And then I'll weigh in as just the general public in the neighborhood district again, where like what was it? Somebody said the MADs, Mothers Against Destruction, and they are just not having it. This is a potential to ruin our life support systems and potentially kill a lot of people. So they are with the maintenance system, and that we should just block that half off and remove ourselves from it as quickly as possible. And yeah, that is it.
Okay.
For
Lauren, did you do a round? Did you do a scene that round?
No, I don't think.
No, he's next.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, read the stations. That's it. Basically, draw upon what we've learned and use that to color our actions in future scenes.
Okay. So what would you like to do, Mr. Coin?
Oh boy, let's see. I want to know
What love is?
for a major scene.
I want to know what love is.
I was thinking, I want to know if he really loves me.
And now our stream is down because I just broke copyright.
If if after this asteroid belt is mined or secured, or once it is, no, it's like the same question.
Keep thinking. I'll do it. This summarizing while you're thinking. So
Sure,
let's just recap while you're trying to figure something out. So in terms of let's check in with our threats to see how we're doing. Like the prospector and the soldiers thing, I think was married together. The prospectors are going to basically try. I think the thought is that you've managed to convince them to try to bribe both sides of this civil war in our system to stay the hell out of the asteroid field because it's not theirs, and so like pay them to stay away, and that would thus help us since we're right next to the asteroid field. So that's where those two threats are. The soldiers themselves are still fighting on the station from time to time, getting very ugly, and people nearly dead because of it. Lots of stuff has been broken, and the maintenance crew has been having to do a ton of repairs. The other one is that somewhere in the station, people have been disappearing. We have now found where they've been disappearing to, and they've apparently been getting taken over by some sort of ancient nanite tech, and they are dangerous. And so that's where we're at, those threats. Because remember, we want to resolve those 3 threats, and that's when we know the game is basically over. So I feel like we probably will be able to do that in the next round. But if you think that there's one that you could potentially push towards resolution, or that's cool, or if there's something you want to do personally with your character, you can do that too as well for a minor. What you thinking?
So I want to do a weak move so I can get a token somehow. So I'm trying to see.
So then you would want to do a scene, like a major scene. So you'd want to do a scene that probably pushes the plot forward. So it could be like the soldier prospector negotiation. It could be like, can the prospector convince the soldiers? Like that could be your question. And then we play out the scene with like, you're there, you're a source, you're a person who kind of knows how to stuff. So something like that could work.
It's kind of what I was going around. Just get this contractor deal closed out. Will it just stop this war?
Yeah. Can the soldiers be bribed to stop fighting?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Where is it and who is with you?
This could be at it's gonna be outside of a little pop shop popcore station they've set up. They're gonna
Barry's gonna be there.
Bear's there, of course. And probably Nyx, because she's like the stationy.
Okay.
So pretty much.
Do you want me to be Barry?
Yeah, if you want.
You.
Pretty much Popcorn is gonna find this group of soldiers wandering the streets, and Or get in touch with me, actually. See if these soldiers are like willing to pay a price. Or name their price.
Or you can go kind of around it and contact like their main base or whatever of operations and just say, hey, if I give you such and such money, can you call these people off of our base, off of our station? We don't want them here anymore.
Yeah, I got an idea. Okay. So pretty much Barry's gonna contact me because I'm a big source of supplies here, and then we'll just make a deal that this station can support these nations, sort of thing.
What do you mean support? One of the things we do, like one of our truths, is that we remain neutral.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's like our first truth. We are a neutral station, widely recognized as unaffiliated with either side of the ongoing war.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could just be direct with it. Just be like, okay, let's just like literally just have the scene where a representative from whatever the fuck the one soldiers are called and the representative from the others and you and Barry and you guys are literally just doing a negotiation. Like, how much is it going to cost? You know, like, or like this is, you know, whatever it might be.
Jeff, do you want to be Barry and I'll take the soldiers? As
Whatever you want.
Maybe the neighborhood, or whichever one that was.
Unaffiliated. But I think if you're using, if
Oh,
you're
no,
taking the
it'd be the
soldiers, you
war.
should be to the interstellar war. Yeah. If you're
That's
going to
true.
do like the mechanics or the neighborhood people, then I think that's unaffiliated.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. So anyway, what are you thinking, Long? It's your scene. You make the final decision.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get these soldiers to see if they're willing to back off.
Okay. So where are we? Where's our scene?
We're in a pop core like station. Or like
Okay.
a shuttle that they have.
Okay. And Popcore is Barry's company, right? He's the investor. Okay. Okay. What voice did you use for him?
Just some like businessman. He's trying to sell things.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So a businessman. So like Jersey. Yeah, he's a fucking salesman. Okay. So what move are you starting us off with?
Yeah, let's see. I'm willing to piss off like suppliers here to cut a deal with Popcore. So it's probably gonna be Gary, the tomato guy, or not Gary, the tomato guy. He's our gardener.
Okay.
I'm gonna like make it unfavorable for him in this deal.
Okay.
That's really terrible, man. Why would you do that to me?
Aside tomato, these people.
I told you my name's not Tomato, it's Tomato. God.
It's the same thing, but I've got to give
It's
them
my
more.
name. He leaves.
Okay. So we're inside the ship. You've just made a deal. Okay. You've just okay, so you just made a deal that pisses off Tomato. And what's the deal? Like, what would the deal be?
So the Popcore is here to. Let's see. They want this valuable resource, right? So I'll be willing to pull off some of my clients and vendors from also focusing on it.
Popcore wants to make us a tourist destination, and they offer us conditional safety.
There we go. Popcore,
So-
yeah, Popcore
Oh,
is
yeah.
just like,
So this can't be a tourist location because these soldiers are just fighting here all the time.
okay.
Yeah,
makes
so you're
sense.
cashing in on the conditional safety of, hey, we're down to be a tourist destination, but if there's soldiers here, we can't be that for you.
The Popcore will be like will be playing hardball. They're like, so yeah, we know that you like that there promenade, but I think we're just gonna go have to take it. I think we want that because that's where we want to put, you know, we're gonna put the boardwalk over there, and we're gonna have some carnival rides and such. We got a whole plan for this. This is what we need. So You want us to help you? I don't think the small little segment of the station that you offered us is going to be enough for what we. Oh, I lost my earbud. Oh dear. I don't think that's going to be enough. I think we're going to have to expand. We want a little bit more of the station. Is what I'm saying. We want more. We need more space. We got a lot of plans that we want to do here.
Yeah, that's where I'll offer
Tomato's plot
reputation plot.
that he has, which is like a
Piss
pretty
him off.
big.
Okay.
I love it.
Poor tomato.
Okay. Yeah, I think you get that over. I think we could take care of these. They're poor. They need money. I mean, like, you know, what's really funny is that they don't even realize the very weapons, the ships, the guns, the booms, the bombs, those things, like, they both buy from us anyway. So all I gotta do is say, if you don't start moving those pew-pews to the other side of the system away from the asteroid field, well, then maybe we don't sell you those pew-pews no more. Pew-pews it's a highly technical term in the weapons dealer business. You don't know yet. You'll see, Coin. But yeah, we could. We take all the hydroponics areas. That sounds good. Still want that promenade, central location, easy access. Okay, I think we can make a deal here. And we want naming rights. We want Popcor's Lost in Space Station.
We'll work on that.
Work on it. It's right there. It's all done. It's perfect. Bing, bang, boom. Wrap it up in a nice bow.
Beautiful.
Pleasure doing business with you. Your handshake. Okay. So would we say that we've resolved that, or do we think we need to do another step with that?
I would say that's pretty resolved.
Okay. So then the last thing we really need to resolve is the craziness of the people in the station. I thought you were going to go, and I was like, oh, we want more of the station. Like, oh, well, we've got these dark corridors that we just explored. You're welcome to those. Kill two birds with one stone. Okay. Who wants to final round, I guess, here, as we try to work towards the end of this this last threat. Who wants to do something? What are we thinking?
I had an idea, but it was for the thing that we just resolved, so now I don't know what to do. So I'm thinking.
Okay.
Is it just me and Melissa who need to go?
No, it's a new round.
Yeah, it's a new round.
Okay.
Everybody gets a turn. Until all the threats are resolved.
Yeah, I feel like the ones that we kind of roped together, the prospectors and the soldiers, like, we're working with the prospectors now. We've given over part of the stuff, and we've allied with them so as to keep the soldiers at bay. I feel like we pitted those two against each other, and in pitting those two threats against each other, we basically sided with one of the threats to make sure that the other threat kind of went away.
Yeah.
So those two
While
are
staying
done.
neutral.
Right.
Yeah.
And so while we might be commercial, we're at least neutral when it comes to the war. So there's that at least. And so then it's just the last one. It's the cult one, the people disappearing. So I feel like we should do a scene where it's a couple days later. No one's really heard anything about the people. So I guess I'll go ahead and do it. It's a couple days later. All this soldier fighting has started to die down. Apparently no one's gone missing the last couple of days. And I'll say I'm on the comm with Nyx, and I am in doing maintenance and stuff. And I guess the question I'm going to ask is, what happens when the long night comes? And so I'll be on the phone with Nyx, and I'll have Yawa next to me. We're doing some maintenance, and I'm hustling because every so often, like at the same time every cycle, like the lights go out, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't control it. I know everything there is to know. Like, there's no one who knows more about the station systems than me, right? Like, that's my gig, right?
Yeah.
It's like how that stuff works, and that day is coming up, and after his really scary, like, dark corridor travels, like, he's kind of nervous. And so I guess the question is like, what's going to happen? Hey, Oak, what's going on, man? I guess the question I'm asking is, what happens when the long night comes, as the long night is about to hit? And I am going to, I'm just going to speak openly and honestly with somebody. And so I'm going to be on the comms with Nyx, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm telling you, I really think it would have been a good idea if we just put the bulkheads up and just flush that goddamn sector into space.
I agree. We just need to make sure that they're in just that sector.
And I'm gonna tell you something, by the way. If they break out of the dark sector and come over to where we're living, I'm blowing this fucking place up. I don't give a shit what anyone has to say about it. Not you, not Coin, not that other person whose name I always forget, even though she serves me drinks all the time. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Mother and I we already have emergency protocols activated.
Okay. So who's playing the aspect? Who picked up the aspect?
I can do that. Picking up the station?
Yeah, whatever. I mean, like, the idea here is, like, the long night. Like, my question is, what happens when the long night comes? And, like, today's the day of the long night. That's when, like, there's that long stretch of time when just, like, all of the lights on the station just go out. And so I'm trying to figure out what actually happens.
Long, do you want to do the station, or do you want me to do it?
I had an idea.
What's your idea, Ashley?
Good.
So I know I'm not supposed to do an aspect, but there's differences to this long night than previously that's happened, because normally people just go out to the streets and party because, you know, they light up the night themselves instead of hanging out while everybody's sleeping. But instead, because of the war and stuff that's been happening with the soldiers and stuff, people don't come out, and they're just hanging out in their houses. And a ominous countdown that had happened previously happens again this time, preceding the lights going out, and that's never happened before. And so Nyx's comms are now getting overrun with panicked calls from people, like, what is this? What are you doing? Why is there a countdown? What's it for? And she's trying to figure out what the countdown's for.
And, like, maybe it's at this point, like, some of the lights start to go out, like, and, like, it's like a rolling thing. They just start to go out in different quadrants, and that's when, like, comms go off in those areas. There's, like, people who are running from them, and, like, that's where, like, the culty people are showing up. There's, like, you know, we're hearing things now. Like, they're starting to be, like, as, like, little by little, each sector and quadrant of the entire station is starting to go out, and we're losing contact. We're hearing screams and such, and I'm flailing away, right? I'm just flailing away, trying to figure out, like, no, god damn it, we lost the pine tree sector. Ugh, fucking A. God. Oh shit, it's getting to the low bar. I am going to play a strong move.
Okay.
And I'm going to improvise a fix for something critical just in time. And so right as, like I imagine our ship is almost like, I've been imagining it sort of like Deep Space Nine. It's like sort of circular. And so as the outer lights are beginning to, like, kind of close in on the central promenade where, like, your monitoring station overlooks in the low bar, and, like, this is it. This is where we're all huddled up, and, like, we've just lost all of the outer sections, like the residential areas. People are missing and gone, and, like, I'm, like, screaming at Yawa. I'm like, Yawa, you stupid, good for nothing. God damn it, if you don't freaking... And I'm, like, whacking the freaking spanner, going through this panel, that panel, climbing underneath this, and like, I got it. And I'm at a certain point, I get the lights to stay on in the promenade, and so like the countdown is continuing, but like that constant movement of the lights going off stops, and so the promenade stays under light. So that's my critical solution, just in time.
I'm gonna do a strong move, and mine is reveal a contingency plan, but I'm just gonna enact it, and I'm gonna have Mother, basically everything that's gone into darkness, because I imagine I'm sitting there and I'm seeing video feed, and as like I'm watching like down like a street, and I'm seeing people running out there, and as they get swarmed in darkness, the swarm of darkness is actually nanites, and
Okay.
coming forward. So as I'm seeing that happening, I go and I engage, and I actually have those parts of the space station disengage. So everything that's gone black, except for like our middle pomade part, has now just been ejected out into space and is no longer
Yeah,
attached
like
to us.
the space station's almost like an onion, like it's layer upon
Yeah.
layer, and like you've detached like the core, and all of the other parts are just kind of there and no longer connected. God damn it, I said that's some good thinking. Okay.
I told you I had a contingency plan. I just that was so many nanites.
And so I think I'm like, all right, I'm gonna see. I got diagnostics for system checks. I'm gonna see if any of them little buggers got into our systems. And I feel like the answer we got is pretty good. Like there's gonna like to the long night there was gonna be a swarm,
Yeah.
and we managed to sort of prevent it right before it hits that central nucleus of the station. So that's the end. So my scene is satisfied. So what are you guys thinking?
Which I think that takes care of the threat of the nanites too.
Yeah.
Unless you guys have something else in mind.
I think my final scene would be just to see if we have even enough stuff here to sustain us.
Mm-hmm.
Like to continue to be able to survive, or if we need to further our contingency plan and totally abandon the space station.
Yeah, I feel like we just probably cut off like like at least half the station, right? Like half the station is gonna cut off completely, and so we just have like the nucleus of what was otherwise a fairly robust, partially unexplored station. So we can keep doing like this round, or we could go to the finale scenes if we feel if unless we feel that there's still more like story wise that we want to hit.
I think we're ready for finale. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I'm
I think
okay
so.
with it.
I think we took care of all the threats.
Okay. So let me pull up the finale stuff. So basically, what we just do is we kind of just describe what happens at the end, like what's like a little epilogue for our characters, and how each of them, almost like we did like that opening scene, which is like an everyday thing. Now we're just kind of doing like how does the events of what just happened work with us. Does anyone have an idea of like the final shot that we see, like the aftermath with that particular character? Like, did they survive? So you're basically doing a minor scene. You're just narrating it.
I'll go first.
Go for it.
So the screen fades to black, and you're back at the Nyx's observation tower. She no longer leaves the tower. She has specifically sealed herself off. She has everything that she needs in there to survive off of. Her species doesn't exactly need like the same nutrients as other people do, so she's got her own thing going on. She only speaks to Mother or people through comms. Turkey's the only other person she really talks to, and her sister. She is constantly monitoring what's left of the space station. Every morning her morning starts, she does a check for nanites to see if anything's still on the ship. She's constantly checking, do we have enough oxygen for everybody to live off of? Does everybody have enough food? Is tomato producing enough crops for people to eat? And yeah, she's just constantly stressed and worried about the nanites. and if like that threat has actually been dealt with.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I'll follow up.
Go for it.
So Coin's daily life now is actually trying to get in contact with scientists or people that are interested in these nanites, trying to, because of the Taurus deal, it's pretty much fell through. This place is not inhabitable by much people. So he's trying to give back. His sack's gotten a lot smaller because he's trying to get all these resources for the people that are still here. And he's trying to do the best he can, keep his guys going.
I like it. Melissa.
So I would say that the scene is kind of like a happy hour, right after work kind of a time frame. So you've got a decent crowd. We don't have all the soldiers there. You know, it's definitely fewer people are here than there used to be, but you've got a decent amount of folks that are there, and Adelia kind of seems to be in her element. You know, kind of making drinks and kind of engaging with everybody. You know, she's got less of a staff that she used to, and so everything. She brings out kind of a full tray of drinks for a couple of tables, and when she's kind of delivered all of them and is just about to turn around and kind of go back to the bar, you just see her just suddenly sort of like kind of pinch up all of her eyes. She is multi-eyed creature that she is, and you see her kind of close her eyes and breathe in and sneeze, and from her sneeze is just going to be nanites.
Nice. So then I think with Turkey, Turkey is kind of on the docking ring that's left. He's hanging out with. He's got a sack over his his bag that he carries with him. He's talking with Yawa, kind of shaking hands. Turns to him and he's like, "You got this. I think you're ready." And God damn it, I'm due retirement. And he's gonna go and climb aboard a shuttle. He's gonna sit down in what is like some tiny little pod that ends up being like his quarters for the time. The ship will kick off. I like to think this is like the after credit scene, and it's gonna fly off, and he's gonna lean back, look out the like a little porthole, light up a stogie, and he's got like a big old bottle of bourbon. And as the camera kind of like fades away from him and away from the window, like it kind of settles on the bag that he had just dropped on like the floor, and you can see inside of it is the color. It's like some kind of colorful piece of clothing that he picked up while he was going through the corridors and put in his bag and forgot that it was in there. And you see it just sort of dematerialized, and these little tiny nanites start to separate, disappear from the bag, and start to move about the shuttle and in between the little seams of the tiles and things. Unawares, Turkey is as he pours himself another glass of bourbon.
Oh,
I think that's it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
First we destroy our space station.
In the rest of the frickin' solar system.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
They got out.
Whoops. Okay, so that was Orbital. Yeah, we struggled through a little bit. Thank you for those of you who hung out the whole time. Interesting game. I really liked it. I like the moves. I like the different aspects and things. There's lots of cool stuff that you can do to potentially make it work.
Yeah, I didn't realize reading through the rules before playing it just how much the aspects would play in, but it definitely
A ton. I feel like I feel like they have to be in like every scene. Any major scene, you got to throw them in there. And some you just got to grab them. Like that's like the whole idea of picking it up. And I think sometimes like we're like, oh, I don't want to interrupt, but like no, we got to.
Yeah. Well, and then I think one thing we need to remember is we have our one that we're in charge of, unless you're in the scene, and then other people need to grab.
Well, you can trade them out too. Like at any point, you're allowed to
yeah.
trade them. But yeah.
But like you have one you're constantly watching for, kind of thing.
So I definitely would recommend this. I want to play it again.
Yes.
Like I know that when we were playing a town called Malice, I know that the second time we play it kind of clicked. The first time it was a little clunky, but the second time it sort of made sense, and the third time, and we played it off air and stuff too, and it kind of goes so smooth now. And so I feel like this would kind of work. It has a little bit of like a PBTA feel to it with all the playbooks and things like that you have, like the different play kits. So, plus there's those two new ones, Scholar and something else. I can't remember what the other one was, but Scholar is one of them. And then there's like another. So there's a total of like 8 different character roles that you could potentially pick from at this point. So it's Orbital, MOUSEHOLE Press. I got the links in the chat. Just look up MOUSEHOLE Press or go and you can get this on itch as well. I know that they have another game as well called Artifact. I have a copy of it. I just haven't gone through it. It's like I think it's a solo game where you play as like a weapon or an artifact. It's sort of like a sad meandering, like the you tell sort of like the story of this object, which is sort of an interesting storytelling technique. Okay, for us, next thing you can find us in is tomorrow. You'll find this crew tomorrow as we start our brand new, wonderful, or horrible, possibly, who knows, Hex Crawl adventure as we're playing Worlds Without Number on Saturday at 6 Central. You can see the 4 of us, and hopefully over time we're going to try to weave some other people into the game as well. Little guest arcs. So if you haven't played Worlds Without Number, or you haven't seen anything about that, we're starting it tomorrow. So come by. On Monday, we will be back also on our channel playing Alien, the Free League role-playing game. Next Friday, we should be back to Delta Green. And you can catch all of our stuff over on the YouTubes, where we have all of our VODs and things over there. So if you're behind on Alien or on our Into the Dirt Things from the Flood game, catch all that stuff there. You can catch our old Vase and stuff, our old hard stuff. All that stuff's posted over there. We got a bunch of new games that we want to play coming over the next several months, some big, some small, and I'm sure that Orbital will see. We'll definitely see another play, especially this is like a perfect spot for this. Like when we're down a person and we're like, no, let's pull out Orbital. It's a fun little game. So highly recommended. So hang around and chat here for a moment. I'm gonna go ahead and put us on the end screen. We're gonna raid. Are the Defenders still up? Are they still playing? Yeah, they are. So I'm going to give our friends who are actually, speaking of Alien, are playing Alien. So we're going to go and go ahead and give them a raid. And then we'll catch you all next time. I'm going to throw us on the end screen. So hang tight. Good night, everybody.